gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Give it to me like I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna 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 take it down.
Good evening, people. I mean, where do you start from there without getting called negative? What the actual fuck was that all about? I mean, with that lineup and everything, it wasn't going to be great. We knew that was bad. Like, that was really, really bad. I mean, I can go through the whole team, and I will do. Going to have a couple of guests come on. Got one waiting. They'll be on here within a minute. And we will go straight into that. I mean, that was fucking abysmal. What the hell were we doing with some of those players on there? And I'm not just going to focus on this man, but he's going to have to get some stick for it. What the fuck are we doing with Archie Gray as captain? What is happening here? I mean, De Zerbi's got to take some stick for that as well. I didn't have a full team there, so I'm going to say hello to a couple of people, and I'm just going to bang straight into it. Here we go. All right. PFC TV 144. Big up, Dan. Big up to you too, mate. And what's he saying there? Give Dan the job till the end of the season. It definitely weren't a good start, was it? And also saying, felt your pain today, lost 2-0 to Hull. Yes. Man, you didn't have a great start either, did they? Phil Coys, big up, Dan. Big up to you too, mate. Hope you're good fella. Someone who does have a sense of humour on him at all times, unlike a lot of us do. Seems to see the bright side of everything. Stefan, big up, mate. How you doing? And Luca as well. Spurs battered again. Yes, we was. I mean, did it even feel like did it even feel like the new season started? It really didn't. It just felt like a roll on from last season, basically. That was bad. And hey, Dan, all right there and all in the chat. I'm not sure about the laughing emojis, to be honest. Look, mate, it's my attitude. If you don't laugh, you fucking cry. So you've got to laugh. Otherwise, you will just sit there and cry. That is my attitude to life, mate. When something is that bad, I will just laugh. As if we need more rooms than piss poor. Yes, I get you, mate. You're right, though. And loving the live streams. Benji made them for me, mate. Same as he did with me. Has done an excellent job on it. And can't fault you for it. The bit I did was the music, because I'm better at mixing the music. But Benji is the one who did mine and Mia's ones and done a quality job of it. So he gets all the credit for it. It's appreciated, mate. And Sebsar, what are you saying there? Same old Tottenham, spineless, lethargic, and overrated players. We see about the overrated on a few of them, but spineless and lethargic, yeah, I can definitely agree. I mean, Van Hecke, he was playing like he was on the piss, wasn't he? Seriously, you'd think he was drunk. And Stefan, Charlton were decent against West Ham, could beat Spurs. Playing like that, mate, Disney could beat us. And also PFC saying, Dan, if you need mod fella, I can help. Okay, fella, if I need anything, we'll let you know. I've got my main mod on here. And Lewin also saying, good evening, Dan. Good evening to you too, mate. And Ryan, big up, Dan. Same shit, different season, same Spurs, different game, different day. That's exactly what that one is. And Drula, there is my mod. Hello, Dan and chats. Hello to you too. And I'm going to go for a couple more and then we go straight into this. Phil Coys, all decisions Zerbi made today were wrong. Totally agree with you, mate. You can't stick up for him there. You can give him a little... No, he got that wrong. And to Boonverse, battered again. LA equals pathetic excuses and acceptances of mediocrity. I can't really argue with that one, mate. And Luca, I don't see any Man United content creators laughing at their team's loss today. Just saying, mate, maybe they just ain't got a sense of humour. And last thing you're saying there, would I take Keller at Spurs? I take it you're on about the Belgian fellow at Atalanta. Yes, I would not say no. So let's bring guest on straight away and we will go straight to this. Lubo, my man, how are we doing today? I take it you went and watched the game?
I didn't.
No.
No, I didn't. I was 20 points adrift for loyalty points. So I watched it at home. Do you know what? I'm bloody pleased I did.
I was going to say.
You know,
that's not like you.
No, couldn't get tickets. Because it's a small ground. And I'm sort of probably around 1,600 out of 42,000. But they're only, when you take off premium, tickets for premium, tickets for the players, tickets for the away season ticket holders, there was about 1,100 there, and pretty much everybody's going, aren't they? So, new season, lots of new players.
I reckon that just put a few people off.
Could have done. Could have done. I got my ticket for Forest in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, they'll be a little bit better by then. So, but listen, it was a bad start, poor performance.
Shockingly bad.
I'm not. Do you know, Dan? I'm not panicking. There are a lot of.
No.
There were more players that are going to be in that first 11 that weren't out there than actually played today. Started today.
I disagree with you, Lubo.
Hang on, Detrex. Let me finish this bit, and I'll come straight to you, mate.
So you know, it's again. Listen, no excuses. Bad performance. Team have got to do better. They've got to do better. They've got to win more. You know. For me, when I played, every time you go in for a ball, it's a personal. It's like you take it personally if you get beaten, and you've got to win your personal battles. And they were first to every first ball. They were first to every second ball, and it wasn't good enough. And it was only when Fernandes came on that we started to look a little bit more like some sort of team. So you know, but by then the game was gone. We were 3-0 down. The game was finished.
Oh. We was fucked, and we will go into that. Detrex, how are you doing after watching that complete and utter shambles of the game?
Same Spurs, different season. Honestly, same shit. And I just want to raise one point. I'm not calling out Lubo. I'm just attacking the argument. When he says we should not panic, for me, I wouldn't say it's like full-on panic mode, but it's like, for me, like there's some big red flags that have to be raised. How can you play Bergvall at the 6 or at the 8 or whatever position he played, and you put Archie Gray as your captain? Like, I don't care who you are. You can be the Pep Guardiola club. I don't care which manager you are. If you make those mistakes, for me, that's a sackable offense. I'm not saying he should be sacked. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying that.
It's a figure of speech. But look, with what you're saying, we're going to come to that, Detrex. So before you go into it, don't worry, we'll come to that.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to get through.
But just my thoughts in general. It was this disgusting performance.
Exactly. So the quick thing I'm just going to run through before we go into everything is the stats. Get that crap out of the way because that usually just pisses me off anyway. Brentford 41%, us 59%. So again, we have more possession. Expected goals, Brentford 3.96, us 0.47. Shots, 26 shots from Brentford. 26. And we got 9. Shots on target, they got 8. So it shows that quite a few were just going wide. And we got 4. Big chances missed for them 3, us 2. Mikey Moore should have had at least one of those 3 chances in there.
Yeah.
Corners, 7 to them, 3 to us. Accurate passing, 293 to them, 461 to us. Passing accuracy, 82% to them, 88 to us. Yellow cards, 1 apiece. Red cards, 0 apiece. And expected goals. And went through all. Do you know what? Bollocks to the stats and going for all that crap. That can just fuck off. And we get right down to it. That starting lineup. Now, we all know it was a bad game. We've had the stats now. No one has to repeat it was a bad game, even though we are going to repeat it time and time again. Lupo, what the hell was that starting lineup about? Now, I understand certain points of it that we have not got the full team out there, and there were players that weren't necessarily fit there or whatever else and that. But weren't you disheartened the minute you looked at that starting lineup and have questions about it?
Well, yes, for me, it was a very young lineup to start with. We were missing Fernandez. I don't know why. Don't know why he didn't start him. I found that was strange. As soon as he came on, he got himself about. He was winning balls. He was controlling the game. Listen, we were 3 goals down by then. The game was done, and Brentford could afford to sit back and just let us play in front of them. But you should have started with Fernandez. Tonali, I thought, was poor today as well. I mean, the first
Was
the
Fernandez
first goal.
50-50? Because sorry to interrupt you. I'm just asking you. Was he 50-50? Because I did read that he was match fit-ish as such, not fully match fit.
I don't know. I was just surprised that he was left out. If he's not going to last 90, get him on from the start, pull him after 60. But it was just shocking. It was just poor. Bergvall was appalling, just dreadful. He was to blame for me. He was to blame for the first goal. Lost his man completely. Played a 1-2 and just ran off him. Second one was a combination of 4 of them, in fact, because Richie lost the ball. Bergvall dived in and lost it as well. Senesi didn't close him down, and Kinski parried straight to Janelt. So between the 4 of them, that was a complete mess up. The first goal, apart from Bergvall, Tonali didn't track either, because Gray was out wide with the winger. They were too far. There was too big a gap when they played the 1-2 for the runner to go onto it. Tonali was nowhere. There was too big a gap between Robertson and Senesi to start with, and Tonali wasn't tracking. If he'd have tracked, he'd have probably picked up the goal scorer. That was the first. Second goal I've just been through. Third goal was just poor. I think I've been to Brentford the last couple of years, and they quite often hit that long ball, the corners out to the back post, knock it back. Someone's on the edge of the box, and we never ever mark. Just never mark, and it's dreadful. This is the 3rd year running. I think this has happened. It's not a new tactic that they use. So you look at it. All goals I thought were poor goals to give away, all of them, and they've got to be a lot better, because the one thing you did think was that if you've got Van Hecker, who I thought was abysmal today for pretty much
fucking
the first
terrible,
half,
wasn't he? That was
terrible.
bad.
He improved a
was
bit
shocking.
second half, but he had a most horrendous first 45. If you've got Van Hecker and Senesi, and if you'd have started Tonali Fernandez, you look at those 4 and you think to yourself, do you know what? We're not going to score many goals with that forward line, but we're not going to concede many either. And today was just today was dreadful. It was just dreadful. All of them, just the whole lot of them. First half, don't think there was one person. There wasn't one person who came out of it.
Robertson came out of it respectfully in the first half,
Maybe.
I think. Okay, so Detrex. I mean, Elly, how you doing? I'll come to you in a minute.
Yeah, good.
Detrex,
Thanks.
come on then, mate.
Yeah. So for me,
That starting lineup.
When I saw the starting lineup, first of all, when I saw Archie Gray captain, for me, that automatically you have to cancel the manager's contract. That's a figure. I'm just being sarcastic.
I know.
Yeah.
We know.
And when I saw, sort of, yeah. But when I saw Tonali, Gallagher, Bergvall in midfield, who is your number 6? Who is your defensive-minded player? There's none of them. You had Bentancur. Let's say, okay, Fernandez wasn't fit, fine. But you have Bentancur. He played at the 6th position for years at Juve. Even for us, he's good enough to be a 6, a DM. You couldn't even start him. And what's the point of having Gallagher and Richarlison together? There's no chemistry. None of them can hold up the ball or create chances. So it doesn't matter what you do with those 2. And when I saw Matista on one side and Mikey Moore, for me, I knew we're gonna lose. It was so obvious. So for me, he got it wrong and putting Archie Gray as captain. That's for me. That is one of the worst decisions I've ever seen a manager do in my lifetime. And I've told many people about Kinski. You're gonna regret it this year with this guy. He's not good enough. And Van Hekkes and Essie, I like them. I think they're good players, but this is where there's a difference between new school defenders and old school center backs. You need a mix of both. Yes, they're good on the ball, but they're not good at winning headers. And look at Brentford, what they did. They targeted those two every single time with the headers. And for me, Van Hekke had a terrible debut for us. And the only people I can say who had a respectable game, Robertson was one, and I'll say and Mitchistel, because he kind of created chances, kind of.
That's pushing it.
For his standards, he had a decent game.
You all right, Mike? How you doing? I'll come to you in a sec. Well, you just cancelled the screen, so okay then. Elly, how are we?
I'm going undercover. I'm not Spurs fan anymore.
And do me a favour. Do not fall asleep on your fucking bed on this show, yeah? That will not be tolerated.
Look,
on
my
here,
bed's just there, right? My bed's just there, and Tios has gone to the other bedroom because I said to him, "You're not allowed," because I'm really fuming at that performance. It was an utter disgrace.
No sexy time today.
We lost. We lost the first ball. We lost the second ball. We lost the third ball. We didn't win anything. We didn't win hardly any of our duels. I think maybe one or two. But like Brentford were like flies to shit, right? We were like total crap. And I was watching and I was so fuming. My mouth was going 24/7 with the potty mouth because you know I've got a potty mouth, but I tend to tame it down on streams, right? So I was so disappointed because when I saw the starting lineup, like Detrex and Lubo, I thought, whatever, right? And then I thought, Mikey Moore, he tried, but he tried, but they haven't got the juices yet. Right, Mikey Moore might develop later on. And then I saw Archie Gray captain. I thought, Archie Gray captain, what has he done to deserve the captaincy of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club? What has he done? Lubo, sorry, no disrespect. I don't mind him as a player because I think he's gonna develop into a better player, right? But to give him the captaincy, I think that was the worst decision ever. Right, because you've got players like Bentancur, seasoned professional, right, sitting on the bench. Fernandes, yes, he was unfit.
We have Robertson.
The whole team had no chemistry, not one bit of chemistry. And even Tonali was running around like a blue-ass fly, passing sideways and backwards, sideways. We had that with Harry Winks, for God's sake. Right, and then I'm thinking we paid £100 million for him, and I put my bloody name. I put look, he's on my hat, right? And he played really badly today, but I don't blame him totally because the whole team played bad, except for Robertson, like you said, and possibly maybe a little bit of Tell, but the final ball was crap. I mean, 8 out of 10 of his crosses didn't hit his marker. I mean, didn't hit his target. Sorry, and I'm so frustrated, guys. I thought my head was going to explode.
I thought Fernandes done okay when he came on. I thought he was quite respectful when he come on. Bentancur, I would have said, was all right until he gave away a penalty. Thank fuck that didn't go in.
Yeah,
it's just So. Mike, how we doing, mate? Same Spurs, different day?
Exactly, mate.
What is your... Go on, give us your side on that starting lineup.
Well, you partially know my thoughts on the starting lineup. Listen, before I criticize anything, I actually think we were kind of like limited because of the players that were missing, right?
No,
so I think I find it hard to believe that De Zerbi would pick Gray over Porro if Porro was available, and I can make similar cases for a few other players. Yeah, that's a different thing. But I'm saying, like, out of the players that we have in the squad currently, still, I think like Porro would definitely start over Gray.
For sure.
But nevertheless, right? I still think first of all, like some of the players and their performances today, god damn it, like Bergvall. Bro, if you wanna go Forest, then just go Forest. Like,
Just go.
just go. Like, I don't mind us selling him at all, right? And listen, the way I look at it, especially from the youngsters' point of view, right? If you are young, you need to fight to get into the squad, right? And you have to eat away at all the chances that you get, right? And you have to make like 150% out of any chance that you get, right? And Bergvall was pretty much like saying that I want game time, right? I want to be playing consistently, and he gets starting minutes in our first game in the Premier League and drops a stinker like that, right? Then listen, no wonder you are getting replaced by Fernandes, Tonali, and other guys, right? Mikey Moore, like, listen, I understand he's how do I put it, a talented player, right? But other than like a few games, I don't see the consistency and I don't see him at the level to be playing for us in the Premier League, right? Loan is where he should be, in my opinion. I know he played today because if we loaned him out before, we wouldn't even have players for the forward line, right? That's the state that our forward line is. But you get a chance like he did today, 2 chances, and he misses them.
3, wasn't
Sorry,
it?
mate,
I
but
think 3
or
clear
3.
chances,
Like
yeah.
one of them was like quite tough, right? But 2 chances, I wouldn't call them like 100% chance, but close to that, right? And then like Galadog, I don't know what this guy does other than running, right? I think Van
didn't have a good
Hecke
game.
had a shocking first half. I hope
that
that's
was
not-
terrible, Mike, wasn't it? That
Yeah,
was
he was terrible
absolutely
in the first
fucking
half.
abysmal.
And the last player that I really want to highlight is our favorite Pigeon, right? Guys, whichever God you believe in, right? Whether that's like Spaghetti God or Jesus or whoever else, right? Pray today that they save you from watching Richarlison in a Spurs shirt, right? Like, just pray to whichever God you believe in to save you from this guy.
I want to
That
be a
was
Sikh
awful.
and pray to every god.
You know what?
Yeah.
I thought Gallagher there as the number 10 would do a good enough job. Now, not as a playmaker, but I thought the idea of him being there would have been more of a target man number 10. Get forward, get the ball, get it to whoever's in front of you. And he didn't even fucking do that. He was absolutely terrible.
He's not a number 10. That's why.
He's not.
But
He hasn't got the skill to be a number 10. He
But that's
barely
not
can
what
be
I'm
a number
talking
6.
about. I was talking about being more of a ball winner further up the field like he did at Palace. That's what I thought he was going to do, and I couldn't have got it more wrong if I tried. I thought he would actually be all right doing that. And
Dan, what I was surprised about was even after 15, 20 minutes, we've gone 1-0 down, switch Bergvall and Gallagher, just switch them round straight away. You put Gallagher next to Tonali. You know, he's got the legs, he's got more physical strength, you know, for me than Bergvall. He's better in the tackle. Drop him back. We're under the cosh. Bergvall shouldn't have been in the 8. Push Bergvall up into the 10.
But even Bergvall at the 10 is not good enough.
But Detrex, you're in a game, and the game's going away from you. So you've got to try and do something during the game.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree.
Don't wait till half time. We were 2-0 down by then.
I wish I could have brought Glenn Oddle on. That would have fixed it.
Do you know what?
But
do you know what, Elly? You know who you needed? You probably needed Dave McKay. I know. This is my favourite player as well. But you needed someone like a Dave McKay or a Graham Seamus out there
to put their foot in and win the ball.
Absolutely, and win it.
But that's
We
not.
had one in Paulinho, and everybody was
No,
saying,
forget it.
No.
Oh,
we
stop
had
it.
one in Paulinho.
Stop it,
Honestly,
Elly.
Paulinho-
Elly.
he would
No,
have been fantastic today.
Elly.
He
No,
would have
it's
won
not
the
even.
ball
It's
for
not even
us.
about having
Elly.
Paulinho. It
Don't
was
say
about like.
Elly, because I'm right about it.
Elly.
Paulinho is a
No, he's
Elly.
good
not.
player.
Elly,
He's
Elly, go back.
fantastic at it.
Elly, go back to Stamford Bridge. They just played around
Oh,
him.
come on, Lubo.
He was
Lubo,
nowhere.
man, everybody played crap that game. Everybody. Come on.
But Elly, I would
He played
tackle it
really
from
well
You
all
know-
season.
Elly, I would
That one
tackle
game.
it from a different angle, right? I would say that we have our version of Paulinho. We just had shit around him again, because like I think Tonali can do that job, right? Like he's one of
not
the
as
highest, like
physical
in
as
terms of
Paulinho.
turnovers.
He's not as
He's not
strong.
he's not as strong. But if you put two good players around him, so if the midfield today was Tonali, Fernandes, and Maddison from the start, assuming they are all fit to play, I think the game would be much different. But we had Bergwall and Gallagher around.
Michael,
I agree
you
with
wouldn't
that.
say
I
the
agree with
best
that.
version.
But you
you would-
always you can do with a player like Paulinho from the bench. You imagine if he came on in the second half, it would have been totally
Yeah, but
different.
Elly, no, he weren't the player we needed to come onto the pitch. He's the sort of one you have come onto the pitch, like say when you've got 20 minutes
If
left
we
and you're
weren't
2-0
losing
up and you
2-0,
want
I agree with
stability.
that.
Yeah, he
We
weren't
were
the one to
losing
press
2-0,
forward.
then we went 3-0 down.
Exactly.
Right, I agree with
So
you on
he
that
weren't the one
respect.
to bring on. So
But
go
what
on,
I'm-
Detrex.
what I'm-
You were saying.
yeah.
Hang
No,
on,
I
let
was about to
Detrex finish his
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
No, what I was about to say
All
to
right.
Michael, because he says we have a better version of Paulinho and Tonali. I believe the best version of Tonali we saw was at AC Milan when he won the league. He's a better, he's like, I would say he's a hybrid 10, but I'm not saying he's a creative 10. He's more of like a runner. He passes and runs in the box and scores.
Yeah.
He's a deep line playmaker.
Yeah,
He doesn't
Ball
pass
carrier.
and
He's
I
a
move.
think
ball
our
carrier,
version
right?
of Paulinho for me is Bentancur right now that we have.
Yeah.
A guy that can
I'll agree with
control
that.
the ball and that can actually break up the play. That's the only one we currently have. I think Matias Fernandez is a better 8. But
Yeah.
I think that number 10 position will be a huge pain in the ass until
yeah,
like Xavi
Yeah.
Simons comes back, or if Maddison is able to play every week, right? Which he probably won't, because I think like whichever of our current midfielders you put in the number 10, whether it's Tonali, Fernandes, Bergwall, Bentancur, Gallagher, whichever you put in the number 10, they aren't going to do a good job there. Like I don't think any of them are the type of number 10 that we need, right? I think the
No.
close me
No.
personally, because like I think Mateus Fernandes, he has a great passing range, right? I think he's a great passer, but I'm not sure if he is the number 10 type of passer. I think he's like more like a deep lying number, 6/8 passing from the deep, right? I don't think if you put him up there, he will be as useful as he is back.
Do you think Tonali would
In
be
the
more
back, right?
useful in the 10 position? Because
Yeah,
when they played him at AC Milan, they played him definitely as more of a sort of box-to-box, deep line playmaker at the same time.
Yeah,
And he'd
I think
cover
I think
all bits
Dan,
and
I think
also
if you
good balls
yeah.
forward.
I think out of the players that we have right now, I would probably put Tonali as a number 10, or like I wouldn't.
Because he's
call
got
it
a bit
number
of
10.
creativity, basically.
I wouldn't
Because
call
he's
it
got a
like
bit of
really a number
creativity.
10, right? Basically what I would do, I think, is play a bit more of a defensive style of midfield. So, like like you sometimes say, there is midfields that are 6, 8, and a 10. There is midfield that's 2 8s and a 10, 2 6s and an 8, and whatever. Like you can profile these players. I would play a bit more of a controlling, like defensive type of midfield, and allow the fullbacks to bomb on. But we had Archie Gray on the right today, which like listen, he couldn't get into the game. That's the way I see it, right?
Physically
And
weak.
yeah, and I think you should play like Bentancur, Fernandes, and Tonali until one of the number 10s is fit enough to play, and allow one of them, most likely Tonali, to be the most advanced one, right? But not as a like literal number 10 that plays alongside the striker and stuff, right? Rather than I would rather say that they will be like as I said, controlling type of player and just spread it out wide or to the striker, right? Rather than getting directly involved in the goal scoring and that stuff, right? That's the way I would do it. But
No, I get you. I mean, if you want someone with a bit of creativity in their head, then Tonali is probably the one to go there to cover for the meantime as such. Because Gallagher, we know he ain't got no creativity. I just thought he was going to be there as more of a target man. I mean, the one I want to go to get this more out the way than anything, yeah? And I don't put the sole blame on this man, by the way, yeah? Gray. People know I do not rate him. People know Ian rates him, and a couple of others do, and a lot of others don't as well. But I'm sorry, he's got to get some severe shit for this. He's the captain. Captain. That is meant to be our fucking captain. In that first half, I was counting it on purpose because I wanted to see how he played. He lost the ball 7 times in that first half. He got lobbed 3 times in that first half, the same way Porro does, and he couldn't get it back. And he also got in their half nearly 4 times, and every time he got it, he looked around and he had people just by the side of him and in front of him, and he turned around and passed it halfway down the pitch to Van Hecke. Yeah? What are we doing? Gray is not a right back anyway. He's meant to be a centre mid, but I hear he's our cover for right back now. So then we go into the conversation in a minute of should we have sold Spence? What the fuck are we doing with Archie Gray as our captain? Lubo, please tell me.
I was surprised as anyone else. I was asked on several shows in the last 2 weeks, who would you have as captain? For me, it's Tonali. Every time I'd have Tonali, and then you got Porro and Robertson. For me, they're your 3 main. They're your 3 main captains. I mean, Tonali and Porro you would expect to play this season more than Robertson, because I'm sure Udogi is going to be playing subject to fitness. I was surprised. You know, how many times is your 5th choice captain going to be captain? You know, it's one of those things, isn't it? So Maddison's on the bench. Davis isn't. He was on the bench, and the other 2 weren't playing. So, you know, listen, that's his choice. He should have been more vocal. I think for me personally, I prefer the old style captain when they were vocal.
I'll agree.
I know Ledley
Physical.
was. I know Ledley was a quiet captain, wasn't he? And for me, he was my favourite all-time centre back at Spurs. He got away with it. For me, normally, you know, you need someone that's pushing and and driving everybody on. And he's too young to have a captaincy.
He shouldn't even be in the
and
5,
too inexperienced. But that's not his choice. It's, you know, if you're Archie Gray and De Zerbi says you're captain, thank you very much, fantastic honour. But that's down to De Zerbi, because he's got to have a better, you know, in terms of the captaincy. He should have. I don't know. Listen, it surprised
so you
me.
basically don't agree with it either.
I got slaughtered 2 years ago on YouTube for saying that he'd be a future Tottenham captain, but I don't think he's not ready yet. He's not ready for the first 11 at the moment as a player. He should be on the subs bench. The problem is they sold Spence, and if Porro's not quite ready because he's only been back 2 weeks training, Spence should have been kept exactly for that reason. You could have sold Spence to Inter Milan. I mean, you know, the window's not shut for another 9 days. Bring Porro back in, and then move Spence on. For me, I didn't understand that. So, who else do you play at right back? Rio.
Want to come on? Message me.
Rio Kieran Mettinen is injured, unfortunately, because I thought he played really well at right back pre-season. And who else is there? There's nobody else that can play right back. So we've left ourselves short at right back. We've only got one right back, which is, for me, Porro's a wing back. He's not a right back.
I agree with that totally.
So we don't actually have a right back in the squad. A proper established right back.
With the 5 that you go and put on the captain material, what the fuck is Davis doing on there as well? And Gray. I mean, me as a captain, I'd have something along the lines of Tonali and Porro. Yeah. Either which way round, I'd have been happy. Then I could be happy with Van der Ven there, even though I don't like his attitude at the end of last season, and I don't like the way he treated Thomas Frank just walking past him, whether Frank's Was he's meant to be the manager, and he like gave him the attitude. I'm sorry, I don't agree with, of all people, a captain doing that to a manager. Whether the manager's good or not ain't the point. And then with that, I could have easily stuck Robertson on there. And then even Gallagher on there, who's also captain material and done it at bloody Chelsea. How the fuck can Robertson, who has won it all with other players on that pitch as well, sit there and listen to Archie Gray as captain?
Dan, the rationale behind his thinking, you can see, is that they're all players that have been there for a couple of years, rather than players that have come in this year, like Gallagher, like Tonali, like Robertson, and that's obviously his rationale. I don't agree with it. I think that Tonali or Porro should have been the captains, and Tonali should have been out there because people will look up to him. People will respect him. If he gives someone a bollocking, it'll be, well, fine, you've been there, you've done it. You're an Italian Serie A champion, etc., etc. He's had a great career. Robertson's won the lot, hasn't he?
Yeah. I know if I'm playing and Archie Gray comes up and gives me a lecture, I'm literally going to sort of fuck off, you little prick, and slap him in the face, quite literally. Yeah. Lubo, I don't think you treat him much different either. If I'm going to be honest, if you're playing football and you've got some little fresh man come up to you and start running his mouth off, you back.
I wouldn't slap him in the face, Dan.
Figure of speech. So go on, Mike. I'll ask you, Mike, and then Detrex, Elly, whoever, and we go from there. Mike, what the fuck are we doing with Gray as captain, man? How do you see that one? How? Why?
Listen,
it's even more pressure on him, isn't it?
Yep.
I think. How should I put it?
Say how you see it.
No, I think the Zerbi kind of rates Gray, right? In a sense. And I think he wanted to.
Then he needs to be sacked.
No. Wait. Let me finish, right? Listen, I don't think Gray is a turbo shit player. I think he will be a useful player, right? Useful as in not a starting quality, Champions League player, whatever. But I think he can be useful for us, right? And I think he kind of wanted to establish a captain for the younger part of the squad, right? So he chose Gray and he put him 5th choice, right? And he came out before the game and said, my captains are Van de Ven, Porro, Davies, Maddison, and Gray, right? He gave us the list. And I just think just so happened to be that 4 of the 5 were missing from the starting lineup, right? And I just think he stuck to his word, right? He said, my 5 captains are in this order, right? So if 4 of the captains are not available, then the 5th one is Gray. And I think that's a shitty decision to give Gray a captaincy, to allow Gray to be part of the captaincy 5, because as Ian said, I think he's way too young to have such a responsibility.
Without a doubt.
Right? Especially listen, if he was some fucking I don't know, some star that won a Champions League and whatever, right? Because there are players that won plenty of shit when they are 21, right? Then I would see it differently. But I just think he's a young kid who needs to get minutes, play with freedom and without the responsibility, right? In a good sense. So I think last season was the worst thing that could happen to players like Gray and Bergvall, right? Because there was so much shit riding on every single touch that they took, right? I just think that players like this need to play without the burden, right? Let's put it that way. Listen, as I said, I don't think he is a turbo shit player. I think there will be uses out of him, but yeah, it just came out really weird today, especially that we lost, right? As we got slapped 3-0 and he was the captain. So captains need to take responsibility for the performance of the team, as Dan said, right? So listen, good luck, Archie.
I mean, I mean, quick question. Go on, I'll come to this question in a minute because I think this is quite a good question that Rock Spurs put here, but I'll come to that in a sec. I mean, Detrex, Elly, your opinions on that? What the fuck is he doing as captain? Your opinions on it?
Well, for me, he should be nowhere near the captaincy. He should be concentrating. Because, like Michael, I think he has got talent, right? And he's not. I'm not with you on Dan that he's total pants because I can see something in him. He's got desire and he's got the willingness to learn, right?
So is Richie.
Which is a start. It's a start, right? Yeah, but Richie's a seasoned pro and he's still not there. But Archie's got time to
calling
grow.
Richie Pro
right?
is a travesty.
I just think it was irresponsible of Serbi to put so much pressure on him because
Yeah,
I
agree.
saw at the
Yeah,
end of last yeah it
actually.
was too much pressure on him, and I saw at the end of last season towards even the Nottingham Forest game he was giving his all, but sometimes your all is not enough because you just haven't got the juices at that stage of your career, right? And he's playing out of position. He likes midfield. He said it already. He doesn't really like playing right back. He said it, right? So he's been put in a predicament, right, by the manager, by making him captain, making him play right back, because they're using him as a utility, because we've got to bring it back to Enoch then, because Enoch had to blame for this situation, because we should have had a right back, right? We haven't got no backup right back really, and I don't like
But
to
then,
use that word.
Elly,
backup.
then De Zerbi should have turned around and said, I don't want Spence going. Because
That's
he's meant to
right.
have the one who has a major point in this. So who do you
Yeah,
put more
I
at fault of
agree.
this? Do you put Enoch or De Zerbi more at fault for this?
Yeah, but
If
the thing
anything,
is that at the end of the day, right, the club are quite stubborn. We've seen it, Dan, right? They think they know it all, right? And when they came out with that statement, right, that they haven't put football first, too shit you haven't. You know what I mean? Like we've been watching 2 years, right, of Richarlison, well, 4 years really, but if you count the Kane years, at least Kane was scoring and he was in and out of the team injured. And it's the same this year. With Archie Gray, getting back to Archie Gray, I do see something in him, right, because there's a player in there. I agree with Lubo, there is a player in there, right? But it hasn't come to fruition yet. It's like when myself, I was a cam, right? But I can't see him as a cam. I can see him as a 6 or possibly a 6'8".
6.
Yeah, I can see him as a 6'8".
Elly, he's championship material.
When he's
at
a
best.
proper man, he hasn't developed as a proper man yet. Even though he's 21, I look at his physique and he seems weak to me. When I look at him, I think I can blow him over.
So
and
he
I'm
definitely ain't
a
going to
Yeah,
be a
but-
fucking 6, is he?
Yeah, but if he's
No,
20,
but-
if he's 20, like he should be getting there, as in
And he
he
should
like
play
developing.
70
right?
rand
He's
a week.
guy.
The physicality he has to work on, and I don't know why the club aren't working on it. They should be doing him like Porro does. Porro does the ropes. He does weights.
Yeah,
He does
Elly,
everything
but
like
wait,
that.
Not
like-
everybody can
Physically
build
strong.
up. Not
Yeah,
everyone can
I-
build up like that. Go on, Mike.
Yeah,
I know
I
what you're
wanted
gonna
to say
say,
that,
go
right?
on.
That like as a guy myself, I can confidently say that there are guys that just can't really build muscle
Like
without
Maddison.
getting fat, right? Like let's be
Yeah.
honest, like how should I put it? Like
It's just weak.
that's like your genetics, right? Like some guys won't be able to be like 1.90 m shithouses, right? Without getting overweight and getting slow and you know, it's just the way the bodies are. I look at Archie Gray, he's 20, and I doubt that he will like develop into a like Palinia
come to the
type
question.
of physique,
Yeah.
right? Or like
No, he
I'm
won't. He
disregarding
won't.
the height, right? But just the way that like his biceps and his like chest muscles work, right? I think he will be
Me, he has
more
no facial hair. It tells you everything you need to know, man.
Probably
He
right.
has got a little bit of a goatee going on, actually.
Yeah, he has.
No, I agree with you.
No, go on, let
but
Mike
he
finish
can
what he's
work
saying.
on-
Let Mike finish what he's saying. He's giving an
I actually
example.
quickly just wanted to throw something in because like there was an interview with De Zerbi and he said that he didn't want Spence to go, but Spence wanted to go, right? He said something along the lines that only the players that want to stay will stay, right? And Spence clearly wanted to go. So I actually think that because I don't know which one of you, but one of you said that like we shouldn't, like De Zerbi shouldn't have sold Spence, but Spence wanted to go, right? So in that moment, it's kind of like even if he didn't allow him to go, then Spence would just tell them to fuck off and didn't show up in training,
Mike,
right? So
Mike, hold until Porro's ready to come into the team, which will be what, next week? He could have gone. He could have gone to Inter Milan next weekend, couldn't he?
Yeah, but Ian, maybe Inter Milan said we are buying you now or never, right? Maybe Inter Milan said that listen, we have like 3 other targets. You are one of the targets. We want you, but if you don't come, then we'll buy someone else, right? And listen, Inter Milan, whatever you want to say, they are 3 times the club of ours statue, right? Like what,
on
20?
The football side?
How many? Yeah, on the football
side.
side.
Yeah,
On the
of
football
course,
side.
of course.
Obviously
Inter
on the football
Milan,
side, right?
Inter Milan, bar the Champions League, which they've won 3 times, by the way, have now won more leagues, if I remember
AC,
right, and
yeah.
cups than AC Milan. They are now bigger than AC Milan. On the business side, they don't touch us with a barge pole, but on the football side,
only
they're
bigger
light
club
years
in
above
Italy
us.
is Juventus, probably, right? The only bigger
Yes.
club is Juventus in Italy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but listen, disregarding the bigness of the clubs, right, or whatever the word is. Sorry, I forgot. But yeah, but coming back, like I think Spence just told the board and De Zerbi, listen, I want to go. Inter Milan want me, sell me, right? Sell me, get as much money as you want from me. Just sell me as soon as you can, right? And listen, we don't have European competition this season, right? So I kind of understand the approach of maybe we can survive with Poro and Gray, right? I kind of understand it. But unfortunately, in a situation like this, like today, it just came out really shit, right? and unfortunately, the club needs to take responsibility for that decision, right? As Ian said, like, Ian, I would love to have Spence for this game and sell him tomorrow, right? But I just don't think it was feasible, right? And I don't think the club has the space to buy a right back right now, because I think we still need to buy like 3 forwards. So
if you're playing
We've only
Gray,
got 1 forward over the line so far, isn't it? Savinho.
Yeah.
We've signed
If
Savinho, but Marmoush is close, they say. He's agreed personal terms, I believe, but he's not. We haven't done the deal.
We're seeing that one. Detrex, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's your turn. It's your turn.
No, just keep
quiet, man. It's your turn.
No,
just the grey bit is finished. It's your turn.
Yeah. I'll just keep it short and sweet. Explain to me this logic. Last year, when we wanted to stay up, he didn't play Bergvall and Archie Gray. But now you decided to do a 360 and put him as captain in your starting 11. Now it just doesn't make sense to me.
But if you look at the Detrex, just look at the players that played in those last 6 games after he dropped Gray and Bergvall. How many of them played today?
Yeah, but if he believes he's not good enough to start
but who starts instead?
And ahead of Pelinka and Bentancur, how can he be your captain?
Well, listen, that's another question. That's another subject in terms of where you play him. If you're talking about having him as captain, I think none of us think he should be captain. Yeah, because for me, you've got to go for the most experienced player. You know,
it's not even about experience.
Married with captaincy material.
No, it's about who's the most vocal. It's not about experience. It's mostly
not
vocal.
necessarily. No, it's not necessarily
comes
vocal.
into it as well. Experience comes into it as well.
Okay, but if you look at, for example, you would say Robertson has more experience than Tonali, but Tonali, no, you'd say Tonali is a better player than Robertson, but Robertson's the most vocal one. So I want to keep Robertson in my team. Like, you need guys that can actually, like, when things are not right, he can just say, you know what, guys, calm down, let's fix up. Not once I've seen Archie Gray look at the defense and say, guys, fix up. Not once.
No, I totally agree with you. And question I'll ask quickly then, and we're just going to the next stuff. From Rock Spurs, genuine question. Is Gray even given so much importance by the club because of his family name? And one thing we do know, he has a very big family name attached to football. Is it like one of those people
Can
that
I answer
gets
that,
into
Dan?
special... Is it one of those people like that gets into special service or something because their father or grandfather used to be a Sergeant Slaughter in it or whatever and that? Yeah, is it something like those lines?
Does anybody honestly think that De Zerbi gives a shit about Eddie Gray? Seriously? Come
More
on.
Spurs, do they? I don't know. It's a
No.
fair
Don't
question, I
forget
think.
Frankie Gray.
Yeah,
It does happen.
Frankie Gray. No, I disagree. Listen, Drula's quite right. That first half, all of them were appalling. There wasn't one player in that first 45 minutes that came out with any, literally with any, what's the,
Pride.
no, any praise, and it, listen, I'm just trying to think of the right words that comes out of it with anything. It was, I thought they were all poor, all 11. Gray's getting a lot of stick, but all of them deserved it. And what about the senior pros? Gray's 20. We're talking about he shouldn't be captain because he doesn't have the experience. What about the experienced players?
Yeah.
What about the Van Heck and the Senesi and the Tonali and the Richarlison that were all out there, that were and Gallagher, who were all far more experienced than Gray, Bergvall, Tell, Moore, Kinski, far more experienced. Where were they today?
I think Dan just
Where were
wanted
the
I think Dan just wanted to get Gray out of the way because we are in for a roasting session on Richarlison and other side.
So that was why I brought him up at the start so we could just go through it and kill it. And we all do fucking agree, apart from having an abysmal game like pretty much everyone else did, he is not a fucking captain in any means or manner. Now, I would rather keep Gray over Bergvall. Yes, I would. If I had an option, I'd get rid of both of them because I don't think Gray's more than a championship player, but we all know that one. I mean, just go to what you want now. I mean, what the fuck happened with Bergvall today? What was Van Hecke like in the first half? I mean, Van Hecke, experienced player, we've bought him for 50 mil. Again, I get it's the first game, but we can only talk about what we see. I think that has got to be one of the worst 45 minutes I've seen someone have in a first game. I don't think I can think of many that have done it worse. That was abysmal. That was terrible. How many times did he lose the ball? Nearly cost us a bloody penalty. Lucky that one of the tackles was outside the box. I thought Van Hecke was fucking terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's a shame. Like, because I have high hopes for the guy, but he just today go Detrex. Sorry, because I'm
sorry. I was just saying it just doesn't make sense when people criticize Romero last year for him coming out of the defense and trying to tackle on the halfway line. Van Hecke does the same thing.
Yeah,
and his passing today was horrendous. And we all, before we even bought him, we all said his biggest weakness is in the air. Well, that's not the right game for him to start, especially against Brentford, and they have Igor Thiago, one of the best headers. You would say, guy that can hit the ball in the Premier League.
Yeah,
it's just little things like that. I just
and Matara and Coyote and fucking Jensen and all of them are fucking 6 feet.
Yeah, even Kevin Scheide, Kevin Scheide, you saw how many headers he won in the first half. I don't know. I agree with Dan. That's one of the worst first half ever. No, I'll say debut for Spurs I've ever seen in my life.
I think the Newcastle game when we were losing was bad.
No, I said debut for
in 21 minutes.
No, but like a debut for a
new player.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the worst.
Anyway, I've got to go, lads. I've got to go.
All right, Elly, you take care.
All right, take care.
Elly.
Have a great show.
See you later on.
Enjoy yourself
talking
about Archie Gray.
No, we've already done that bit. That's out the window. Go get yourself some sleep. I mean, I was expecting to see a bit better than that. I knew we weren't going to do nothing up front. You could see that, but I thought we might be able to squeeze something out of it. But with that, I mean, Richarlison, we know he's a waste of space, but fucking hell. And then when Solanke came on, I don't know who was actually worse, Solanke or Richie. I mean, what one was actually worse out of them two? I mean, Richarlison's. It shows we need that striker, doesn't it? We need Marmouche there, basically.
Yeah. You know what? Richarlison pisses me off more. Like, Solanke is not a great player, but at least sometimes he tries to hold onto the ball. Whereas, like, Richarlison, I swear, if we ever play in a windy weather, I wouldn't start Richarlison because he will just be falling over himself.
He spends more time on the fucking floor, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was getting ragdolled by those two center backs today. Like, that's just, I don't know, like an embarrassing performance.
But can we give him a bit of slack for he didn't like get any creativity from the midfield? Because I know he didn't play well. I agree with you. I'm not saying the opposite, but can you guys give me like one chance he actually received and he could have like taken the shots?
He didn't.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
The midfield did not help. The wingers did not help.
But you know, Detrex, what I'm criticizing him about today was the fact that. And by the way, okay, let me start differently. I think the approach to the game today was wrong from De Zerbi, and that's my criticism of De Zerbi. I don't know why we were lamping the ball up top when we had a front three of Turley, Richarlison, and Moore. None of them were able to keep the ball after, like, none of them were able to win a header, and even more keep the ball, even if they somehow won the aerial duel, right? So I think the approach in itself was wrong, right? He should have seen the fact that we are not capable of winning a long ball, which means we should play on the floor, right? But we played like long balls. So then I come to criticize Richarlison because he's the striker, he's the number 9. A striker's job in that context is to win the headers and is to be a physical presence up top so that he can get wingers involved, right? So I basically think that we never really got a chance to create something for Richarlison because he wasn't getting others involved in the game. I know it's a fucked up thing, like fucked up logic to follow, but I just think that the approach was wrong, and that's why Richarlison wasn't getting chances, right? I think if we kept the ball more on the floor, which we did in the second half, and we actually created some chances, I think the game would have maybe gone a bit differently, right? And listen, like I know Brentford probably should have scored like 7 today, right? But we had 3 chances that we probably should have scored, right? So listen, on the other day, maybe it finishes like 3-2, right? That's to Brentford, of course, because Brentford definitely deserve to win, right? But
overall, definitely disheartening, isn't it? I mean, like, where do you even take it from there? You're almost now scared to play Charlton, for fuck's sake.
Right, but
Like,
Dan,
what are we going to do with them? Go on in.
Dan, Jamie Redknapp hit the nail on the head, and he said the Spurs team in 6 weeks' time won't resemble anything like the Spurs team that's
I think so.
that played today.
Let's hope so.
You got more players to come back in than players who played today. So listen, it's a bad start. It's a bad performance. I don't think there's any reason to panic. Look at the players you got coming back in. So, you know, apart from Maddison and Fernandez, who should be fit enough to start hopefully next weekend, you'll have Porro, you'll have Van der Ven. Hopefully Kudus is very close. So there's 5. Savinho will be 6. Hopefully Marmouche will be 7.
We have a cup game next game. If we play like that, we're going to lose.
But we won't. But Detrex, we won't play like that. When with better players.
May
in the
we
team.
play like that all of last season, and we continue the bad habits this year?
But hang on a sec. We've got better players now. The squad's stronger than it was last season.
No, but we don't have cover. That's the issue.
Well, listen. When have we ever had cover? But he will build that. When he joined, he said he had 10 or 12 players out of that squad of 28.
Yes.
That he was happy with, which means he's going to change 16 to 18 players. He's also going to look at the team at the end of this season and see who can play his style of football and who can't. So there's going to be another big turnover of players next summer. it's going to take him. You know, you can't. The club was broken. The team was broken. We survived relegation by one match last season.
2 points,
So-
wasn't it?
Exactly. So he's got so much work to do in terms of stripping that squad and changing it. You can't do it in one window. If he brings, it looks like Savinho's coming in. That's 7 in. Hopefully, he gets the other 2 strikers. That will be 9. When was the last time we brought 9 players in the
Of any
summer?
relevance. The last time
Exactly.
we've done
No.
something like that was when we sold Gareth Bale, and we bought
He
a load
brought
of crap
7
with it, and
Oh.
only one of them turned out good.
That's right, which is Ericsson.
And one of the others was okay-ish, wasn't it? I
What,
can't remember his
Lamella?
bloody name.
You talk about Lamella.
Yeah, if he weren't injured so bloody much, he
That's
could have
right. That
actually
was his
been a
problem.
good player. I mean, I do agree. This is nothing to panic over just yet. But when it just looks totally no different, straight away it starts going through your head. Here we fucking go again. Same Spurs, different day, different season, different game. I don't think it is anything to panic over as such. I don't think anyone really expected that much better than a draw. I think when people said, yeah, we 2-1, I
Sure.
think that was more of a hit and hope sort of thing, yeah? And yes, we haven't got the players in yet, and it's going to take time. I just think this ain't going to take 5 minutes to roll into place. I mean, look at Liverpool last season, yeah? Liverpool were pretty much a mess until towards the end. I mean, look at Wirtz. He was shit last season until the last, 7 games?
Sure.
Even,
Yeah.
and he's a quality player. And we've all seen what he can do. Maybe he's
116 million, Dan.
Yeah, maybe he's not even going to make it in the Premier League. Who knows? Because some players just don't do it. But everything we have bought so far is Premier League standard.
Yeah.
Or so it's meant to be. It didn't fucking look it in that game, that's for sure, yeah? But I don't think we're like on panic mode just yet. You know, once we've got some fit players in there, give it a bit of due time, I think things will start rolling into place a lot better. But again, we do a show like this, you can only judge by what you've just seen.
Yeah.
And that was fucking diabolical. So,
Well, but Dan, Dan, you can judge, you can talk about what you saw on the day, but we all know that there are a lot of better players that are at the club that will be coming in the next few weeks.
I agree.
So it's, you just got to look at it and just take a balanced, measured view and say it was a really bad start, really bad performance, but he's never going to play that team. He's never going to start that 11 again, ever.
Like,
I'm sorry, this is excuses.
Alex, before you start,
excuses,
Alex,
They're
I'll come
facts.
straight to
They're
you.
facts.
Hang on.
It's
Hang on.
excuses.
They're facts.
Alex,
Absolute
1 minute, mate.
excuses.
Let
I
Michael
knew
finish.
this
You're
was
being
going to happen.
dramatic
I'll come
again.
to
You're
you.
being dramatic
No, I'm
again.
not being dramatic.
You're dramatic.
You know exactly what's coming. You know
You're being
exactly what's
dramatic.
coming.
Right,
No,
Alex,
no,
both
no,
of you,
no,
chill
no,
a
no,
second.
no.
Let Michael finish his bit. Let
Go
Michael
on.
Okay,
finish his
cool.
bit,
But
Alex. I will come straight
by
to
the
you.
way, Lubo
Yeah.
interrupted
Hang
first.
on.
So no disrespect.
Well,
I'm
either
only
way,
listening
I
to what he
don't get.
said.
No, Michael was talking. You both fucking interrupted. So wind it down a second, yeah, and we will come straight to you two.
Yeah.
Michael,
Chill out,
carry
boys.
on with where you were going.
chill
No,
out,
they don't
boys.
have. They don't have to chill the fuck out.
I'm
They
chilled.
just have
I'm
to wait.
chilled.
Michael, carry on, mate.
Yeah. Basically, what I wanted to say, right? Today was diabolical, right? As I said, like we've all given our opinions on plenty of players, but I think, like, and please, everyone that's listening, separate what we say about this game from what we think will happen this season, right? Because I think those are like vastly different things. I do not expect to ever see this lineup again, right? Unless we have 15 injuries again, or if we play Leyton Orient in like the next round of the Carabao Cup, right? Or like some fucking Plymouth, or I don't know, like some League 2 opposition, right? I think we have plenty of other players to fill the gaps that were in today's team, and I hope that we will see better. But today, it was diabolical. That's what I wanted to say. I really want to like separate those two things. Like today was shit, but I don't think that's an indication of how it will look in like 3 or 4 months, right?
You're basically
That's
saying
what I
give it
wanted to
due
say.
time and things.
Basically,
could fall into
like
place.
I want to see more than one professional game of the Derby this season to judge, right? That's basically what I'm saying. And I had the same approach with Thomas Frank, and I had the same approach with Ange Postecoglou and all the other managers, right? Like after Thomas Frank's first 2 games were 3-0 against Burnley and 2-0 away at the Etihad, right? And there were plenty of people who were saying, oh, we are winning the league and whatever, right? But the more sensible fans were saying, give it time, let's see what happens next. And next game, we got slapped by Bournemouth at home, right? So let's give it time. That's what I'm saying, right?
Okay.
But today, bang average, right? Not even average.
That
just
wasn't
awful.
even bang average, mate. That was
was bang
absolute
average.
shit.
That was just awful.
Right. Alex, go for gold. Ian, defend as you wish, mate. Go for it.
Well, okay. By the way, that was like was it excuse form from Mikel. I've just heard. By the way, firstly, secondly, I'm gonna say this right now. The Derby absolutely sabotaged that game today. He sabotaged himself. Right? Okay. Like I knew it was gonna be a slow start, but one thing you don't do is put Archie Gray, Harry Wheatley's impersonator, as captain. You don't do it. You just don't do it. Right? Secondly, who saved us from relegation last season? Who saved us? Oh, Bentancur. What do you do with Bentancur? Oh, you put him on the bench and put Bergvall, who wants to go out, who wants to leave. Really clever, right? Then we had our centre backs that everyone was waxing lyrical about. They're all over the place today. All over the place today, right? Like Lewis Hall was having was it Lewis? Was it that Lewis guy had field day with him? Absolutely field day with them, right? And the striker Thiago, right? The tactics were just non-existent for me, right? Hinsky, everyone was saying he's now number one, right? I said yesterday on my show. I said I've said it on other people. Said it on backing what Dan was saying. I said no, we can't just say he's number one yet. Sorry, right? We need somebody to compete with him. That's exactly why. Exactly why. Okay. And the only one I would say at the moment for me that can maybe say okay, he's okay, Robertson. That's it. Simple. Other than that, all of them were garbage. Right? Absolute garbage. Right? And it's not even about me.
Alex, you're
crashing
going
out.
over the top, man.
Oh, whatever, Detrex. Yeah, you stick there with your personality. I'll say what I need to say. My point is, though, yeah, right, is that I'm not crashing out here, right? I'm just saying, with that sort of performance, I'm sorry, that is absolutely pathetic for a manager that we are saying is a great coach, yeah.
Well, you
£300
said
million
that.
to spend. Sorry,
You
I'm
said
not
that.
hearing it. Yeah, and I know you lot are going to say it's only the first game. Yeah, I know it's the first game. I'm like silly here, but we're gonna have to say. I'm going to say what I've seen today. I'm sorry, I've wasted my evening watching that crap. So I'm not being funny. That's the way I am feeling. That's it for me. Yeah.
So
now we're
Alex,
going to get the excuses now.
Alex,
Right, just a quick thing, Mike. Just want to say thanks a lot for the super chat, a user. Much appreciated. What you're saying here, when we bought 7 players with Bale, Cash, Patience, yep, you're 100% right there, mate. Them 7 players were, bar Ericsson, it was a fucking mess. And thanks for the super chat, mate. It's much appreciated. Mike, go for it.
Yeah, so what I wanted to say is right there in the left top corner, Alex, you can see the timer, which says that we've been live for an hour. And what you missed in that hour is us grilling the fuck out of every single thing that happened today, right? So do not give us the excuses bullshit, because we went over it already, right? You just came in and heard the end of it, where we said, after grilling everything and everyone.
Michael, it's not Alex's cherry pie. Get it right.
Listen, guys, I don't know what you have between yourselves, right? All the cute nicknames and all that stuff, right? I'm just here to talk football, right? So what I want to say is, Alex, we know. Like, we've said everything. We grilled the choice of Archie Gray as a captain. We grilled Richarlison. We grilled the centre-backs. We grilled Gallagher. Every single thing we went over, right, in that hour, which you missed. So just please understand that we aren't giving excuses, because we already went over everything. Right?
And
that's why I said what I said. That's why I separated what happened today from what will happen in the next months.
No,
right?
listen, I think
And-
I think what Alex said, we all said prior to
Yeah,
him
we all
coming
said
on.
it.
I don't think anybody thinks it was a good performance. I think everyone said it was poor. I think the team selection wasn't great. For me, he could have started with maybe Maddison and Fernandez. If they're not going to make 90, that's fair enough. Hook them after 60, but at least have Fernandez on, because he looked decent when he came on.
He didn't. He did look
the
all
game
right
had
when
gone.
he came on. He didn't
game
look
had-
bad.
He didn't, did he? The game had gone. We were 3 down. It's finished, but he still looked good. Now, start the game. Try and get the control early doors, and then you're in the game. But to bring them on, unfortunately, when the game was finished, it was too late.
Wasn't really going to do much. It was already fucked, wasn't it? In that aspect.
No. So
yeah.
But you know what, Dan? They know about the fitness of these players better than us. So we've got to go.
That's why I said I don't.
We got to go by.
Started.
That's right. We got to go by what they're saying. Maybe they didn't think Fernandez had it in him to do 90. Maybe they don't want him going into the red zone this early in the season. He's just coming back from injury. You'll probably see him start against Newcastle. Maybe you'll see Maddison start against Newcastle. You might see Robertson, or you might see Udogie come in at left back. Porro will start against Newcastle. Kudus may be on the bench. RTZ said that he's very, very close. He went to Ghana for a family funeral this week. So, you're going to look at maybe 3 or 4 or 5, maybe probably 3 or 4 definitely, that may start or are going to be in the squad for next week, and players that are going to start that were on the bench today. So it's going to change. It's unfortunately, listen, it was as Jamie Redknapp said, Brentford played Spurs at exactly the right time, because this team, he said, this team won't resemble anything like the team that we'll be playing in that'll be there in 6 weeks' time. So it's just a bad day today. Hopefully, De Zerbi's also learnt a lot. And listen, nobody gets it right all the time. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. So you just got to look at it and think. He'll look at that and think to himself, "I've learnt a bit more today," because that was his 8th competitive game that he's had as a manager, which is no time at all. So, we just got to hope that he's learnt from it and we move on from it, and Spurs will get better. So I'm not panicking, not happy. Wanting to see, even if we lost, you want to see some fights. You want to see them scrapping for those first and second balls. And we didn't see it today. That more than anything is unacceptable. We had a brand new team. We had the best part. We had 2/3 of the team missing. Brentford had a settled team. They had a very settled pre-season as well. Our pre-season was completely fractured with injured players, World Cup, an incomplete squad, playing a lot of kids. And from what I was told, De Zerbi was more interested in getting the fitness up while he was away than the actual matches themselves.
Fitness is one thing we ain't had. So
no, I know
we desperately need those players in there. Savinho, for me, I think he's a pretty much done deal, and I must admit, I am very skeptical of him, basically, because I haven't seen him score goals. I have a lot of questions about him, and especially the amount he's cost. Hopefully we play him a different way. He plays better, he scores goals, but I haven't seen nothing as yet in that aspect. And you can see we definitely lack that. I mean, do you think we're going to actually end up with Savinho and Marmoush? Marmoush is now the one I want out of them, and out of all 3 of them, I'd take Gakpo over them, sort of thing. If we get all 3 of them, then fucking excellent. But do you think we will get at least them 2, and it will make a big difference that we need?
I think it'll make a massive difference. You saw, he doesn't want a typical centre forward, does he? Which is why he went for Krupi originally. So I think he'll do well, Mamouche, for us. He just needs somebody to give it. He just needs a manager to give him a run. What did he make? 8 starts for City last season. It's
something
nothing.
like that, 10.
And I read Pep said that when Savinho matures, he'll be world class. They're not pathetic excuses. How many players are we are missing that are in our squad that will be playing when they're fit?
Okay. Oh,
There's your answer.
okay. Right.
Fair points. Fair points.
This is where I get the excuses here. Okay. So right, Maddison is never fit. Right. So let's not go there with that one. Yeah. He needs to prove himself that he's going to be fit for the whole season. We have proof that he's not been fit for the whole season. For the time he's been at Tottenham. Right. Javi Simmons and what is it? Alderbear, who's a waste of space in my opinion. Right, are going to be fit next season. Next year. I mean, right? So we can count them out, but they're going to be in the squad. I'm told, right? Which is pointless because if he's not going to be fit for until next January, what's the point, right? Kulusevski's done. Right? So
How do you know
we can
that,
say
Alex?
whatever we want
Alex,
about Kulusevski.
how do you know that? Hang on.
Well,
How do you
because
know that?
Kulusevski's got the same injury that Ronaldo's got. Right, he's been out for a year. He's had a knee operation. Right, okay. Yes, he's training, but that's not match fitness. That's not match. Okay, so
No.
unfortunately, at the moment, until I see him on the pitch and we see him in a few games, I'll start believing it. Kudos, I keep on hearing he's going to be back. Until I see him on the pitch, then we can start talking about him being back. Because I'm fed up hearing, oh, he's training.
I
Well,
have to
training
agree
means
to an extent.
nothing. Training doesn't mean anything to me until he's on the pitch. Then we see what happens when someone puts a challenge on him. Yeah? So these are the players we've got in our squad that we're going to be putting in our squad, the 25-man squad, foreign players, 17 players that we've got only can put in our squad, by the way, right, that we're going to be relying on, right? We've got a history of big injuries right now. So I don't want to hear the excuses. We knew this already. We haven't got reliable attackers right now. So I'm sorry, the injury excuse is an excuse right now. For one game a week with other teams that have got a lot of things going on. And De Zerbi, the best coach going.
The injury excuse isn't for the forwards, Alex, because if you've got Savinio, Marmouche and Gakpo in, then you've got 3 new forwards. So the injury situation, we're just lacking quality up front. The injuries are for your wide boys. Yeah, you've got Kudus and Odebear who are wide. Kulusevski's a wide player. None of these, you wouldn't call any of these actual forwards. Maybe Kudus. So that's what we're waiting on. What we got? We got 11 days, haven't we? Sorry, what am I talking about? 9 days to the end of the window. Let's see where we are. Let's see where we are there. We're playing Newcastle next week, another team in transition, another team that have had their best players. Their first team's been ripped apart, hasn't it? Let's see how they do. They're in transition. They've got a new manager, new style, and new players. So let's see what happens. We just need to get the better players back in the team, and our results will improve.
No, I can hopefully agree with that, and we definitely need something up front. I mean, Benji, how you doing? Do you know what? Before you even fucking say it, mate, I think I know what you're going to say. What one of the problems was today, but go for gold. How you doing, fella?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, boys. How are we doing? That was tough, wasn't it? That was really tough. And big up, chat, by the way. Yeah, that was tough. That was hard to take. Do you want me to give you my view?
Go on.
All right. Look, do you know what? Going into the game, as soon as it kicked off, it felt like a team that hadn't moved on from last season. If I'm honest with you, we just couldn't get going. Patterns of play, nothing. It's like the game plan went out the window. Look, the first thing I noticed was Bergville, whatever his name is, I can't remember. Ball comes to him in the box from a corner. He decides he wants to pirouette around 2 players rather than just get him rid. And he does what he does best, pick up the ball and runs into people. Just like Tell. So that put us in trouble straight away. Overall, when I look at our defence during the entirety of the game, absolutely shocking. Van Heck was terrible. And again, I I apologise if this is negative. I'm just giving you how I saw the game.
Ben,
Listen,
no one's exactly been positive on here, mate. Don't worry about that.
I bet. But do you know, I'll tell you one thing, right? I know we had a fair few new players playing today. I did try to warn people at the start of this season when we started picking up all these players to temper their expectation, because when you've got a new team, it's when you're buying in these new players, you haven't got a team, you've got a squad of new players. You've got to bed them in, you've got to get it working. There's got to be some cohesion and some chemistry there, which we clearly don't have. I can see you saying negative. Would you chill out? But look, we got a counter with Gallagher, and this is why I was telling people earlier, I don't want Gallagher in that number 10. When we're
You was
off
right
the
today.
ball,
You was right today. I can't deny that.
Dan, I don't even want to be, brother. Right? I hate the fact that I was. Look, when we're off the ball, Gallagher's instruction, go press. Great, works. It does work. It's in possession that I'm concerned with when it comes to Gallagher. The ball comes to him, he bursts up the pitch, receives it again higher up from Tell, and instead of laying it back off to him and trusting Tell with the shot, he decides to take it himself. I'm convinced it was closer to the corner flag. It was a shocker. And then the 11th minute strikes and disaster happens. Do you know what? For me, I blame Robertson. Because I looked at that goal and I thought, what he's gone and done there is put himself in no man's land. He was stuck between, do I block the pass? Do I follow the man? He does neither.
He had no cover.
He had no
cover on him at all.
He didn't. But to be fair,
bit of a lose-lose situation, really.
Maybe. Mate, Dan, it's a tough one, but either way, the ball goes through. It was an obvious 1-2 as well. That's what hurt me about that goal. It was an obvious 1-2. And then on the 32nd minute, Bergvall strikes again. Now listen, Dan, my man, I know you're going to say to me, Kinski had a shocker. He was bad, admittedly. However, that whole situation would not have happened had it not been for Bergvall trying to Ronaldo step a player outside of his box. Now, guys, I don't know how many of you are football players. I personally have never done anything at a professional level. I know, the moron fan that I am, I know when the ball comes in that sort of danger area, you get rid. You pass it off or you get rid. If you're not sure, like Stuart Pearce used to say, if in doubt, kick it out. He tries to take his man on, loses the ball. The rest is history. The last goal is the only saving grace I think that there is for any particular player. Look, at the end of the day, the shot came in. Kinski got down well. He parried it. It went to the wrong guy. It is what it is. Guys, I said, people
how many
say
excuses are you going to give a goalkeeper then, yeah? In the aspect of, I totally get it. It's their job to block. It's the people's job not to let them have a shot and everything else and the list goes on. I know that. But your goalkeeper is meant to be the man on the line that fucking passed the ball away from the goal. Since he's even diving sideways, it should have been even easier for him to parry it across. And he hits it straight to the fucking man in front of him to put it in the net. This is what I am worried about with Kinski in the aspect of lack of experience. Now, I can't say his whole season's going to be like that. Not at all. And I can't judge him fairly till January either. My opinion, I think people are going to be asking serious questions in January. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be. Let's hope I am wrong. On this aspect, that was your perfect example of he just hit it. He didn't even think about it before he done it as such. Now, I get you got to do things on the spur of the moment as such, but any established goalkeeper that's got half a clue what he was doing would not have hit it like that and would have palmed it off to the side. He had the perfect option while he was in midair, basically, to make sure it went off to the side. It couldn't have been easier for a goalkeeper in that aspect. And he manages to do the harder thing to put it to the man in front of him.
Dan, shall I say what I said? Shall I say what I said to you earlier, or shall I keep that to myself?
Say as you wish, mate.
Are you sure this is not going to be good?
Well, it's not all fun and games, is it?
Oh, mate, no, because I'm giving you boys ammunition here. This is not going to be good. Listen, that goal where he dived, all right, and this is just an observation. You could see players on the pitch doing that, right? You know where I'm going with this, guys. You could see them doing that. maybe with that shot, look, the way he dived, the ball hit him in the arms, right? It didn't hit him. He didn't catch it. He didn't get anywhere near with his hands. Maybe, and this is just me spitballing, picking at stones here. Maybe the sun was in his eyes. I don't know why I said that.
Sun was in his eyes, man. What? So do I let him borrow my fucking glasses?
Oh,
No, man.
yeah.
Don't give me
Someone
that.
give the man a hat. Oh.
You know, I mean, Ian, how do you see it with Kingsley today? I mean, this is what I'm worried about with him. It's not his capability of what he can do in due time. For me, it's another younger, especially as a goalkeeper. He's very young for a goalkeeper, yeah. Unestablished, inexperienced player that I think everyone has just got excited over. 5 good games he had for us, and he was part of the reason we stayed up, and the mentality he showed. He wasn't the reason, but he was part of the reason. And I think everyone's got too excited over here over a goalkeeper who's had, let's say, 7 good games, instead of we go out and buy a fucking established goalkeeper, which you can get out there for about 35 million euros at the moment.
Do you know what,
30 million. I am worried about this fella. I am seriously worried.
Dan, did you see Donnarumma at Cardiff last week? Roll the ball into his own net. All keepers make mistakes, and Donnarumma's different. And Donnarumma's one of the best in the world.
That's the difference.
They all make mistakes. All of them. He made a mistake today. He parried out for their set. You talked about the second goal, aren't you, Benji? You talked about the shot for the second goal.
Yeah.
Well, Richarlison's failed to control the ball. Bergval's flown in and got done. Senesi's not closed the guy down. And Vicario's made a mess of the parry. It was a complete mess up by 4 of them. 4 of them. And the ball's fallen for Janel, and he's just rolled it into an empty net. And it's apart from that, I didn't think Kinski had a poor game. I think, yes, you can turn around and say he made a hash of that one. The rest of the game, I didn't think he was particularly bad. Didn't think he was poor. You know.
Lubo, tell me something. Why do you think that happened, Lubo, today? What would you put that down to? If you could put your finger on one thing, what would it be?
I think, listen, there's no excuse for saying that the opposition wanted it more. Definitely. I thought, they were bang up for it. I think the commentators made a good point. Our pre-season's been fractured for various reasons. And it's a new team. There's no excuse for the opposition. There's no excuse for the opposition being up for it more than you. For me, that was the biggest problem for today. If it's, Brentford have been playing, literally kept virtually the same team, bar a couple, for most of the last season. Sangari's come in, had an absolute blinder on his debut, and they had a very settled pre-season. We haven't had that. We're still rebuilding. We've got a massive rebuild going on at the moment, and the first team, we've got so many injuries that the team that he wants to play, he's nowhere near playing. So you can't even say that this team played together in pre-season. However, and you've probably got 7 players that played today that won't be anywhere near the first 11 when everybody's back fit. And hopefully 2 new players have come in, 2, maybe 3. So, as Jamie Redknapp said, it was the perfect time for Brett to play Spurs. It won't be anything like the team in 6 weeks' time. But no excuses for the way we played. It was appalling. It was dreadful.
But can we get to grips, Lubo, that Brentford are no mugs? They're
no one said Brentford are mugs. But the question I was asking, Ian,
they'll play very well.
You drifted off from it, yeah?
Sorry, go on.
Are you not slightly worried about Kingski?
No.
Why not?
Well, if I'm worried about Kinski for his mistake, then I've got to be worried about Senesi for not closing down. I've got to be worried.
No,
listen,
not just for the mistake. Forget the mistake. Yeah, forget the mistake. Let's say he even had a respectable game. I mean, he didn't, and nobody else did, so I can't really fault him that much more. I mean, Van Hecke was absolutely shocking. Yeah.
Yeah.
But What I'm saying is, are you not even slightly worried that we have a goalkeeper here who has serious lack of experience? We don't know his full quality. He's definitely better on the ball than Vicario. Personally, I think Vicario would have made a better save there today. Personal opinion, yeah. We have seen him do that on many occasions. Are you not slightly worried that we have a goalkeeper with just lack of experience?
If he carries on like this, and the first 10 games are riddled with mistakes, then yes, there will be. But I can't say after one game, Dan. I'm not going to start losing my mind over one game.
I'm not even saying on the game. Forget the game.
Yeah. Overall,
every good team has a solid goalkeeper. Solid goalkeeper. Every good team.
Well,
and for me, a goalkeeper is as important as a striker.
It's interesting. I was asked about Kinski early on a couple of months ago, and I said, look, if you're going to bring in a Mike Mannion or you're going to bring in an Emi Martinez, and it's funny because Martinez is up there to be bought, then yes, I would say you bring in them because they are substantially better than Kinski. If you're going to bring in a Henderson or a Kelleher, then I would rather give Kinski a run. But if you're going to bring in a top keeper, then like Emi Martinez, then I would bring Martinez in. I wouldn't bring Trafford in to replace Kinski. No, I mean, I was at the Etihad last year, and Trafford was appalling.
He's absolutely not a keeper I'd go for. I'd go for Miles Sevilla from Roma. Miles Sevilla from Roma. He's out there for 30 mil. He's had over 30, 35 clean sheets over 2 seasons. He had over 15 clean sheets on the season that they was fighting relegation at one point. Very good goalkeeper there. And 30 million is tuppence money. Tuppence money. I mean, Alex, what do you think with Kinski? Are you worried about him, or do you think he's going to end up?
I don't agree. I don't agree with the whole thing that we should have given him number one straight away. I think this is where I think De Zerbi's not helped himself again. He's just literally said, "Well, you're my number one. Here we go. That's it." And I just think he's just based it on just the games that he's played last part of the season. I think we should have looked at goalkeepers. I don't look at Dubravka as anybody decent. I mean, I heard somebody when I was on a show saying that he's like a mentor to him, and I was like, "Well, you having a laugh?" Could be a mentor to bloody Kinski, and I was like, "Well, you having a laugh?" But this is what Spurs fans do. They make these things up, and while they do it again, as we go along. And for me, I think we should have looked at somebody just, to compete with him, just to make him feel like, yeah, you know what, you had your time, you did well, but you still need you're not going to be like completely number one. You know what I mean? You can't be safe completely after a certain amount of games. I just don't think you should do that. So that was the thing. That was my problem from day one. I was kind of like with you, Dan, from that point. You know what I mean? That we do need to look at the goal, because I wasn't really on the board with the whole thing of saying that he deserves that chance. I just didn't believe it. That's the way I felt anyway.
No, I can agree with you on that one. I must admit, I'm extremely worried about the goalkeeper in the aspect of it's another way. I just want an established goalkeeper. If I was building a team, the first thing I would actually buy is a goalkeeper. I know people see it totally differently, but it is the first thing I would buy. An established goalkeeper, experienced goalkeeper, can command his area. I've seen him do the job for 5-6 years, whatever, and that. But I know people see it differently. It's each to their own, yeah. But for me, a goalkeeper is every bit as important as a Harry Kane. That's how important I see a goalkeeper.
Do you know what sucks, Dan, right? I mean, and I'm not defending Kinski because there's no getting away from it. The guy had a poor game.
No, forget the game today. Forget the game.
No, okay, fine. But no, look, listen, I can't forget the game. But all I'm going to say to you is this. I feel bad for keepers because when they have a bad game, you notice it. It's something, whereas a midfielder or a centre-back, you can kind of mask over it. But a goalkeeper, yeah, that's not going to happen. Look, I think what this comes down to is something that De Zerbi said. The team just aren't ready yet. And I know this has been an awful, awful day and one to forget. But I suppose moving forward, if we're going to try and stay just a slight bit positive, is the team isn't complete. We've got fantastic players to come back. You know, we've got Van der Ven injured, so when he comes back, I think that'll be a big difference.
I don't think it's a serious injury. It's a knock, isn't it, basically?
No. I think you're right. And obviously, Fernandes wasn't 100% today. Something wasn't right there. I don't know what that was. You know, and fact of the matter is, at some point by the end of this window, we are going to have supposedly a brand new front line. And I think if ever there was a time to take a look and see what we're about up front, I think it's today. It's just another toothless performance, the same as it's been for the last 2 years. It's been shocking, but like I said, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, Lubo, what did you say? 9 days to the transfer window shuts, yeah?
Yeah.
It's about that, isn't it? 9 or 10?
Yeah. 11
Well,
o'clock. Monday the 1st of September? No.
Do you know?
Sorry,
you know
Tuesday.
what?
Beg your pardon, it's Tuesday.
Seriously, who needs fucking chat GPT
1st
when
of
you've got
September.
Ian sitting here?
Do you know
First
what I
of
mean? Do you know what I mean? He can tell you
Tuesday.
when, where, what his wife was cooking,
10
what she was
days.
wearing, who scored.
Yeah.
The
Who
we got
needs
10
fucking
days.
chat GPT? You know?
Jesus. To be
You
fair,
know-
Sam's just made a point in chat and he said this should have all been done before today. The thing is, like, he's right, but like he says many times in the past, you know, football, it's not always that simple, is it? So, I mean, for some reason, I don't know what it is, you know, why we didn't bring in players prior to this game, because let's be honest, we should have. He's absolutely right. But look, for me, I know this has been a bad result today, but for me, when that window slams shut, as long as we are prepped and ready for the season going forward, I'm happy, you know. But today was always going to be a tricky game, guys. It was always a marble that you could have tripped on. No, let's just. I'm trying to stay positive here, guys. This is really difficult. Someone help me out.
I didn't like De Zerbi's body language, and it doesn't matter now because I said it on my video, which is going to come out soon. I'm working on it right now. So, like, I wasn't happy about his body language. Even I was speaking to somebody who's an Arsenal fan, and he was sitting there saying, "I don't like your manager's body language. I don't like it. I really don't. I really don't."
Why?
I just
what was the reason?
thought this is the way he was just. It just looked like someone that was kind of just like thinking, "Yeah, I'm crashing out here. I don't know if I really want to do this right now." It just looked out to me, to be honest with you, the way he was just. There was a certain. It was towards the second half. I was looked at him, and it didn't look. Yeah, it wasn't. It just wasn't looking good to me. I can't describe why it felt like that, but the way he looked disinterested. He just looked lethargic. It just like he didn't have the energy, and I sat there and thought, well, mate, I'm not being funny. You've had £300 million spent on you, mate. Like, you know what I mean? You're getting a brand new team, so like, you know, listen, you know, I ain't here telling people to sack the manager now, but because you know there's a long way to go. But
He made 2 changes, Alex, at half time. He made another 2 on 68 minutes, and then he
In
brought
that
the doggy on.
aspect,
He
Go on,
looked
Ian,
very
sorry.
pissed. He looked very pissed off, and rightly so.
which is a good thing.
Absolutely. You know, if he was stood there with his hands in his pockets like Ange did, everyone would be going mad. But you know, he looked really, really paid off, and he must have stripped the paint off the dressing room wall. I think probably at half time and full time. I mean, they will know. Those players know that that he was, you know, that their standards dropped massively today. He's not going to be happy.
No,
You'll see a much better performance next Saturday.
I mean, I know people don't like it when you mention other managers, this and that, and everything else and that. Yeah, but I'm sorry, if I'm going to compare to how we're doing now, I have to look at other players, at other managers, and the previous 2 managers that we've had weren't very good at doing that, were they?
No.
They're more leave it till like 70, 75 minutes and then they'd make a decision, which for me is already too late. I mean, if I'm being honest, I think even if a game is pretty much going spot on at 60 minutes, maybe you still make a sub you know, to tweak it up a little bit, to get a little bit more stamina on there again in a certain position, maybe in midfield. But then others would say, why fuck about with something that's working, basically. I can totally understand that side as well. So I did like the aspect that he actually made the subs at half time.
You're never going
But
to
he has
do
got-
it, Dan. You're never going to do it. He could have pulled 5 players off at half
Yeah,
time
that's
quite
true.
easily.
That's very true.
Couldn't he? But he's stuck
Good
with
keeper.
he's stuck with 2. He's stuck with 2.
But I mean, he's still got questions that need answering, right? I mean, you could ask why did he make Archie Gray captain? You could ask why he decided to go with Gallagher in 10. And he's done that all pre-season, by the way, and it hasn't worked out. Gallagher's been awful in pre-season. And you can say to me, look, you know, it's just pre-season, but fact of the matter is he was poor against way worse opposition. So why you'd play him at number 10, I don't know. I mean, for me, I'd have had Bergvall at number 10 and Gallagher deeper with Tonali, and I tell you why, quite simply. Not because I rate Bergvall by any stretch of the imagination. It's more of a case of I'd rather have that solid partnership in midfield.
I said that
Because
earlier, Benji. He should
I'm-
have done that
I'm-
after 15, 20 minutes. He should have
agree.
switched the 2.
I agree, because at the end of the day, the position Bergvall was in for both goals, I would have, for both incidents, I would have said that he would have been replaced with Gallagher, and Gallagher wouldn't have made those decisions. So, yeah, look, for me, I'm fuming about those 2 decisions. I think they're very, very odd.
No, you got that one right over me. That's a point for you, mate. I personally thought he was going to play Gallagher to use him as the number 10, not as a playmaker, but more of a ball winner up the other end of the pitch, like we have seen managers do.
Set out of possession. Yeah, of course.
And I thought Gallagher would do a good job at that. He did a respectable job at Palace like that. And I thought that's what De Zerbi was going to do for him. But it was made obvious quite early that he almost wanted him to do a bit of a Maddison role sort of it, and Gallagher ain't fucking doing that. Never in a million years. So I agree with you, even though I think Bergvall is fucking crap, basically. But I do think he could improve to be a player. But at the minute, as all we see is crap, he's not good enough to be in that 11. Then maybe we should have given it a bit more solidness in midfield, where Gallagher would have been a lot more stable next to Tonali, and Tonali would have actually been able to play football without just being there on his own. Because with Bergvall there, he was basically there on his fucking own, wasn't he?
All right, hot take, Dan. Hot take. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Do you see the very best out of Bergvall at Tottenham Hotspurs?
No.
Neither do I.
Sorry, Dan, it's your question. It's your question. So
you answered it for me anyway, mate. You're right. So go on, give your opinion on it, mate. You know what it's like.
No, I think we should have just when we got offered the money from Newcastle, so we were just taking it.
Yes.
Right? So just taking the money.
Do you think we can get hold of them again? Like if someone get on the phone, maybe.
I don't know why we just just cut our losses. Like, you know what I mean? Archie Gray cut our losses. Like, I've got to be honest. I've got to that point now. You know what I mean? You know, we let go of other youngsters before, so I don't understand why we haven't done it. You know what I mean? So I understand we need to think about the future, but unfortunately, the future. I mean, I felt so sorry for Mikey Moore. I've got to be honest. I felt so sorry for him.
I get what you're saying.
Why?
Because I don't think it's really. He's only there by default. Let's be honest here. You know what I mean? I don't think he was there because they wanted to keep him. I think it's just there because he was there because he's, you know, we didn't get them forwards in. So it's really their fault that they're putting him in that position for me, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't really feel it's right for me to go at Archie, Mikey Moore, because I think there've been people saying, but behind the scenes, and the journalists saying that they want to, you know, give him a lot, you know, put him out on loan, you know. So I can't really look at him. I just think he's been put in a position with players that, you know, he needs help. You know,
he's not fucking ready. Simple
he's not,
as that.
He's not ready. He's not ready. No, he's not, and that's why I feel a bit sorry, because he's put in a situation in the first game of the Premier League, and he's saying, "Well, just go for it." You know what I mean? He obviously was not ready. You can see from the pre-season games, he's not ready. So,
but can we pick and choose that fight though? Because could you not say that about Gray, Bergvall, and Tell?
Yeah, but Gray's. I'm not being funny. Gray's been here for how many years now? Tell's been here how many years now?
No, I think
Bergvall's
Ben's
been here.
saying that
Gray is
they
the
weren't
same age
ready.
as Gray is the same age as Mikey Moore, guys.
Yeah, but
I think if you're going to
No,
search
he's
for one,
not.
you
He's
have
not
to say
No,
Benji.
he's
Gray.
not.
Benji.
No, he's not.
He's
How
not.
old's Gray?
Gray's
How old's
20.
Gray?
Mike,
2021.
Gray's 20.
Gray's
Mikey Moore's
20
8.
already? Oh.
No, he's 20 and
Yeah.
Mikey Moore's 18.
Yeah, just
Is it
turned.
Bergvall who's 19 then?
No, Bergvall's 20. Gray's
20.
20. Tell's 21. And Moore's 18.
And plus,
Okay,
they weren't
okay,
ready
my bad.
either, but they've got significant more experience now than Moore has on the pitch.
And there's
they
no
weren't ready
excuses,
either.
though, Dan, when he's put him in the leadership group. This is where I have my problem right now, yeah? Right? It's all right when he's not out of that leadership group, but De Zerbi has put him in that leadership group. So now there's a different conversation on Archie Gray right now.
Oh, totally. We've had that
There's
one,
a
though,
different
Alex. So carry on
conversation.
with Mikey
There's
Moore.
no young player anymore. It's like, no, you're senior now. Just don't
I
put him
get
in.
that.
Don't put him in the leadership group. Don't put
I
him in the
get that.
leadership group. Then
And I
no
must admit,
disrespect.
Mikey
No,
Moore
you can't
got
do that. You
dropped
can't put him in
into
the
the...
leadership and say, "Oh, he's young. He's young." No, you don't do that. You say, "No, I'm sorry. You're the senior player now. You're not."
I
No,
get that. You're
put
right.
Andy
You're
Robertson's
right.
captain. Then don't put him in the leadership group.
I know,
take
but
him out of the
Alex,
limelight.
we've
No.
already said this, mate. You don't have to justify that one. We all agree with you on this one. Even Ian turned around and was the first one to say basically what the fuck was he doing now? Not as blunt as that, but said it in his very professional manner that he does. And in that aspect, we can all accept that. If anyone would say otherwise on that, I would say someone is tripping. You know that is. But Mikey Moore on there. What other option did we have? So one point I will go to. I mean, Sava said this on it, and I think he's actually got a fair point. And the question I have with it, and all this should have been done before today. I agree. The earlier, the better. My question is with it: could Spurs have got it done before today? Or was it City messing about? Or should we have just dropped the deal with City and gone and looked elsewhere? Or was there actually a deal sitting there to work it out with both? What the fuck was going on? Why have we waited so long? He has a fair point on this, but I do think there might be a reason to why Savinho and possibly Marmoush have took so long.
Maybe because the intention was to always do the double deal for Marmoush as well.
Yeah, that's
And
the thing.
so whatever reason that might have been, it could only get done in the later stages of the window. Listen, none of us really know, but that would be my summarization. I can't think of as to why it took so long, but maybe the intention, like I said, was always to do the double deal. It's a strange one. It is a strange one. But to be fair, I did say at one point, just bin said, you know how much I like Savinho, just bin him off and move on. And we've all said, you know, there's a slight bit of arrogance around Tottenham because you assume that they only had the one bloody target. But, you know, it looks like the deal was always going to be on, despite what I said, because I thought it wasn't going to happen.
I thought we was going to get him from day. I thought he was one we will definitely get. I've said that the whole time.
You did say that. Yeah, you did say that, to be fair.
I didn't think it'd take this long, if I'm going to be honest.
It's not that bad, Dan. It's only 2 seasons, mate. Come on now.
Yeah, it's only 3 fucking windows, isn't it? Like, not that long. Like a year and a half, basically. I mean, bloody hell. I mean, do you reckon we should have just dropped it with him and just gone looking elsewhere? I mean, Ian, what do you think on that?
I'm sorry.
No, go on, Ben, if you were going to say something. Sorry, mate.
Go on, finish, Benji.
I was, because, you know, I'm a massive fan of Savinho. And you can say what you want about the guy, but, you know, Savinho and Doku's first seasons, they both got 10 GA, except for Doku had more games and more minutes. I massively rate Savinho, and Savinho brings to the club, and Dan, I know you don't agree with this, but I do watch the guy regularly. What, for me, Savinho brings is exactly this. How many times have we all said, when we get to the final third, we don't know what we're doing? We've said it a million times, right? The last 2 years, that's what we've said. With Savinho in the team, that's an area that he thrives in. His low balls, his ability to loft the ball, his sharp passing in the final third is spectacular. And that is something I cannot wait to add into Spurs' Arsenal, because it's something we've been missing for so very, very long. And again, I know he's not everyone's flavour of the month, I understand, but I've watched so much of this guy. He is going to absolutely cook. Spurs fans will fall in love with this guy. Mark my words. When he's inside, when he's in his team, and he feels part of the project, and he's loved by the manager, I'm telling you, you're going to see. I'd like to think you're going to see the Girona version of Savinho. And people say to me, "Yeah, but Benji, what about the goals?" The guy's a winger. He is a creator. He's capable of goals. We've seen it in his career. but the guy
Just
is a
not in the
creator.
Premier League.
Well, but again, in his first season with, if I'm not mistaken, give me 1 second, 1,772 minutes. That's 24 games, 21 starts. 10 GA is absolutely phenomenal in my mind.
Yeah,
It might
but
not
how
be
many
for you
goals was
guys.
that? 1, 2?
It was, but just because it's not his fault, he's not scoring the goals. At the end of the day, the kid seemingly is a creator, and I'm not being funny. If he's getting assists, he's helping other people score. So that's
I
as
can
good
get
as a
that.
goal, is it not?
But we need not quite.
I mean,
I can agree with you to an extent, but not
Okay.
quite. The thing we have said consistently, and everyone has said it, and everyone can see it, is we need goals. We need goals from a striker, and these days you're not. It's very hard to find a striker that scores more than 15 in a season. Very hard these days in pretty much any league out there. It's not easy. There's lack of them, so we need to get the goals from elsewhere as well. Kudus, you're going to be lucky if you see double figures out of him in goals. Yeah, you might see, well, he might do. I could see Kudus doing more of a Savinho, maybe get 6, 7 goals and maybe 10, 12 assists. He's more like Kulusevski. I think Kudus would even be better as a number 10. I've said that for a little while. Same as Kulusevski is better as the number 10. Tonali and Fernandez ain't going to get you goals. I mean, Tonali didn't even score last season. He's just not that type of player. Same as Fernandez, might get you a couple of goals. So where the fuck are these goals going to come from then? Because I haven't seen nothing of Savinho to show he can do it. Hopefully a different style of play and different tactics, whatever, will push that on him. But I must admit, when it comes to Premier League, I'd rather have Gakpo. I mean, Ian, what do you think is going to happen with it?
I looked at Savinho's stats and I thought, not great. You know, we're spending that much money on a player. Then I started reading up Guardiola's comments about him. And Guardiola said that when he matures, he'll be a world-class player. So for me, if he can mature while he's at Spurs, then we've got a very good player on our hands. And even more so, if you can bring in Marmoush and you can bring in Gakpo, Maddison stays fitter. Kudus had a GA of 8, I think, when he got injured beginning of January. So for me, the goals have got to be shared around because we haven't got we haven't got a Kane and the Son. We haven't got a Gibbs White who got 15 last year from midfield.
We haven't got a consistent 10.
We haven't got any 10 at the moment. I mean,
no, we haven't, have we?
Yeah,
no, we don't. That's a very good point.
So, you know, and I saw a comment on here, why did Gallagher play? Why did he put him as a 10? Well, we haven't got an actual 10 because Kudus, Kulu, Simmons are all injured and Maddison's just coming back from an injury. So they obviously didn't want to rush him back. They thought he was good enough for, how long was he on for? Half an hour? He came on, 68 minutes. So he had 25 minutes. So at the moment we're struggling because we haven't got a 10 and we haven't got a front line. So
Maddison ain't going to keep fitness, is he? We just know
he looks a million miles off it, doesn't he? He really
I don't
does.
know. Year before last, I think he played 75% of the games. Last year he had the ACL and that ruled him out pretty much for the whole season. But he had, you know, I think he played something like 43 out of 53 the previous year, I think. Well, listen, we'll see. We've got to score goals. We've got to bring players in that are going to score goals because without that, you know, whatever strengths, whatever improvements we've made, we're not going to finish off games. We're going to control games with Tonali and Fernandez, and we're not going to finish teams off as we should do. So there's going to be a lot more draws than there should be this season, which will ultimately affect the league position.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to go super chat quick. Jerome, thanks a lot, mate. Much appreciated. What are you saying here? I cannot believe we are trying to sell Sarr. I beg to differ on that one. But we are dying to keep Bergvall. That's a point. Gray and Bergvall have to go, and Gallagher. No, Gallagher, sorry, for a club player, I keep him and play him in the centre mid. He's a good player to have in there. Gray, I've said I'd quite happily get rid of him for a while. Bergvall, yes, I would keep Gray over Bergvall, definitely. But Sarr, I think he's absolute crap. As well. I don't think Sarr is any more useful than Bergvall, if I'm going to be honest, mate, with that one. I mean, Sarr's got to go as well. He's like a very, very poor man's Gallagher to me. He sort of does the same thing, but he just ain't as good at it. So if I had my choice, bar Gallagher, they'd all go. I mean, what do you think on that?
I think Sar's going, mate. I'm pretty sure Saudi club put in a bid, didn't they?
No,
20 mil
Galata.
or
What,
something,
can
innit?
I
Galata.
just take the time
It was
to say
Galatasaray.
with Sar, was it Galatasaray? Okay, well, even better, because I know they've got, Can I just say I was
Thanks
really
for
wrong.
the super chat. Go on.
Top man. I was really, really wrong about Sar. I genuinely thought there was a bit of a player there. And as it turns out, he really is just one-dimensional. And I think
Extremely.
at this point, 100%. And at this point, I think it's the right time to get gone. I think he might be worth a little something. I mean, I'm hearing talks of maybe 20 million. I'd be happy
Yeah.
with that. I think we only paid 11 for him.
Something
So
along those lines.
Yeah, about that. 12 million, yeah.
yeah, you're making money off it. Yeah. So I'd get rid.
He's not going to be used in there. He's not going to get in there. I mean, it's like De Zerbi has said, 100% Bergvall is staying and he wants him to stay. I don't see what he actually wants to do with him, especially after today. You know, I don't actually get why he even wants to keep him there. Is it because he can play him at any time because he's an under 21? He hasn't even got to put him in the team as such.
Would you say he's regressed since he's been at Spurs?
Yeah, I actually would say he regressed. I think he was better when he came.
So is that down to him or down to Spurs?
Down to Spurs. That's the same point I made before my internet gave up on me. I think youngsters like him need a steady environment to develop, and we've been all but that in the recent years.
He hasn't improved, does he? But then you can say, really, who has actually improved at Spurs at the moment, can't you?
Yeah.
But in that aspect, I mean, for me, Bergvall, how we turned down a 50 million, 40 million pound bid for him, I think is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike, what I was asking these three, should I say? Savinho, what's your attitude with that? Do you think that one's going to work for us? Do you think that one's going to get us goals? We're going to get in Marmouche as well. We're going to get Gakpo. Do you think we get all three of them? Just one of them?
I think Savinho and Marmouche definitely come in. I have my doubts about Gakpo, and it's because I think Gakpo is part of that like whole domino effect. So basically, PSG want to sign someone before they sell Barcola. So if they sign someone, then Liverpool signs Barcola, then we sign Barco, like Gakpo. Sorry. So yeah, I think with Savinho, that was the main part of your question, right? Listen, I have my doubts about him because, especially now, because it turns out to be that he will be like a mad fee, right? 85 million pounds. And I think there will be an immense pressure on his back just because of the price tag, right? And just because our front line is so shit that we expect us to sign players who will improve that front line a lot, right? And with Savinho, I have my doubts about him because I think there is a big skill set in him, right? I like, we often joke about Brazilian players being from Peru or Bolivia or whatever, right? If they are fake Brazilian, like there is no technicality behind them, right? It's just the passport, right? Savinho is definitely Brazilian. You can see the flair, you can see the skill, you can see the fun that he has with the ball.
He just
right?
can't even get in the Brazilian team.
But
how shit that team is.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a left winger and Vini is in front of him, right? So I get the point that he's not getting there, right? But nevertheless, I think he has the skill, but the end product is non-existent, right? For me, Savinho is more like a futsal player or like I don't know, like a trick tournament player or whatever, right? I think I think a consistent run of games would definitely help him, right? Which is what I hope he will get at Spurs. Because with Guardiola, he always just rotates, changes, swaps players, right? Swaps the approach, swaps the fucking, the tasks that he gives those wingers. I just hope that if we sign him, he just gets to nail a position and just start consistently, right? Because the same that I said towards Bergvall and Gray applies to Savinho. He's like, 21 or 22. I think he needs a consistent run of games. He needs a stable environment. He needs to know what his role is in a team, right? So I think he can improve, but I think that's a huge risk that we are taking. I think there is plenty of other Savinhos around Europe that would cost 1/3 of what Savinho is costing us, right? And this is the issue that I have with it. I think the price tag will put immense pressure on his back, right? And I just hope he doesn't cave in under that pressure, right?
Mike, can I just caveat what you said? And you're so right, by the way. For the last 2 seasons of Manchester City, Savinho has had, in his first season, where he did very well, he got 1,772 minutes. In his second season, he got 820. So the first one
right?
no, it's not. It's crazy, right? So that's the equivalent in the first season of 24 games, and the second one is the equivalent of 9 games. So I'm with you there completely. I think you're bang on. If you do give him a run of games, you make him feel part of the squad, you are going to see a different player, right? I'm totally with you. Totally with you.
Well, let's hope so on that one, because we definitely bloody need them, don't we? I mean, up front, we don't look no.
I don't know if we can do fucking worse with what we've seen today.
I mean, what else do you really say to that? There isn't really much else you can say to that. Up front, we look like a fucking championship team, and that is being nice.
Guys, can I be honest with you, right? Because right after our game finished, my local team played, right? And I mentioned them a couple of times, but we got relegated 2 seasons ago, right? So last season we spent in the second tier of Polish football, and we came back top, and we are now in the Polish Ekstraklasa, right? So basically we are the equivalent of Hull City right now, right? And we played today against one of the richest, most well-run clubs in Poland, and they went down to 10 men in the 7th minute, right? And the match finished 3-3, which was absolute madness, right? So they played 83 minutes with 10 men, and it still ended up 3-3, right? But my point is, the front line of my local team, I think they were fucking better than what
Oh my god!
Because
I don't even doubt that. That's the thing. Don't even doubt it.
Goals, right? I kid you not. Like, I was watching it today, and I was seeing strikers attacking the crosses in a proper way. Like, like we practice the in swinger crosses, right? So, and they were just going at the cross and like heading it with power, and I've seen some intricate play, and I know the level of defensive quality is much lower in the Polish league. I get that, of course. Like, I'm not literally saying that Richarlison is worse than the striker of my local team, right? But I kid you not, like, I was watching that game, I was like, yeah, that fucking Matsenko guy, he looks quite class, right? Oh, that Marianac guy, oh, nobody knows him, but he will slap. Like,
what's this saying? Like a Smithy OX4. Honestly, these Tottenham channels are bullshit. Fuck off then. Simple as that. If you don't want to watch it, mate, I don't make you watch it. If you think it is, that's your call, mate. That's fine by me. But genuinely, if you don't like it, mate, I'll say it the nice way. Go forth and fucking multiply. Simple as that. But I mean, with Marmoush possibly coming here, and he's one who I'm definitely interested in. He hasn't really landed on his feet in England either, has he? To what was expected. But then when you got someone like Haaland in front of you, it's not so easy to get into the team. And he looked good in Germany, didn't he? So
that's an understatement. The guy played 17 games before City bought him, guys. He played 17 games, 21 goals, 9 assists.
And what did Timo Werner do?
I'm sure it weren't that good. Surely not.
Exactly.
Surely not.
Timo Werner was fucking good in Germany.
No doubt.
Listen,
And listen, Timo really was. Sorry, go on, Alex.
we're doing this again. This is why one person that I watched on a social media platform, and he summed up Tottenham perfectly, right? And it sums up this whole thing with Mamouche, was it Werner, all these players, great potential, awesome potential, right? In a man, great potential, but always seem to let you down. Always seem to let you down all the bloody time. And I'm just got to that point now where I need to see it now, right? The woman's just gonna go away. She's just gonna leave. She's gonna leave you. You get what I'm saying? Find somebody that actually can actually do the job. You know what I mean? Make them satisfied. You get what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah.
I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired. Like, I'm sorry, Mamouche. Like I said on my channel up yesterday, like my live, I said, I'm not excited because I need to see it. Like, Robbie Keane came in. Like, I said, I like Robbie Keane. He proved it to me. You get what I'm saying? Like Teddy Sheringham, like Canute, like all these strikers we've had before. And I'm tired of this forward. Like, no, I'm not doing this no more, Benji. I'm not doing it anymore. Like, I'm sorry. It's time for them to start showing them worth right now. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
No, but hold on. Can I just say something that I'm convinced people seem to gloss over? Like I've heard a lot of people, Alex, say to me, "Oh, Benji, why are we buying Manchester City's rubbish? Now, why are we buying their second hand?" Listen, Marmouche and Savino, they're not getting into Man City's team because they're rubbish. They're not getting into the team because look who they've got in front of them. Look, as far as I'm concerned with Marmouche, the guy is top quality. Top quality. Listen, if you
Okay.
watch the fella, listen, bear with me for a second here. You know, Kane's got that ability to know where the goal is. He doesn't look up when he shoots, does he? He knows where the goal is, yeah? I've seen Marmouche do a similar thing. You know, Marmouche has got a turn of pace. His movement is fantastic. And he knows where that goal is. Like, there's no getting away from it. Marmouche is a fantastic player. And I think his career, he's proved that. So I, for one, don't understand any issue people have got bringing in a player like Marmouche.
I haven't got an issue with it as either.
A lot of people do, Danny Boy, and I don't know why. It's strange.
I think the attitude I have with it is it can't be any worse than what we've got. It's just the problem is we haven't really. I've seen him deliver more than Savino. The thing I am just very, very scared with is where do these bloody goals come from? And if we go and get him, he's going to be our striker, I take it, yeah?
Yeah. Dan, can I quickly share something?
Hopefully.
Because I think that's a good comparison. I've started sharing the screen if you allowed it to show.
Yep.
Yeah. This is Marmouche in the third column compared to Solanke and Richarlison, right? And you can see, like, listen, I know Marmouche played for a much better team, right? But you can just look at per 90, and I know it's statistics, whatever, right? But it's basically what he does on the field, right? And you can see goals and assists better, shots like 3 times as much as Solanke per game, right? Chances created 3 times as much as Solanke, progressive carries 2 times as much as both of them, right? Like successful take-ons better than Solanke and Richarlison, touches in the opposition box better, right? Runs in behind, like similar. And the only thing he's worse at is aerial duels, because Marmouche, I think for me, the best way to play Marmouche is to play him alongside a 1.90 m striker, right? So basically, for me, he is like a poor, not poor version, but poor man's version of Lautaro Martinez and Lukaku. Like he is the Lautaro Martinez of the duo. That's how I look at Marmouche, right? But I think you can make use of the guy, and he's definitely better than what we have, right? Because these stats that I'm showing you, right, is not when he played with Haaland, but when he played in place of Haaland, right? So I think you can make do with a player like him. I think he's, fuck me. Uh,
I
I'm
think he
seeing
needs an
comments
English
in the
Wellington.
chat, Dan. Marmouche's bang average. I can't. I fucking
Oh, well,
can't.
I mean, I mean,
Sorry.
I see what your point is, Mikel, but I think if you'd be really silly to think that Mamouche is not better than what we've got right now. That's obvious. That's obvious. I mean, we don't need stats to prove that right now because I just need to say how many years I've seen Richarlison and Solanke, and you don't need stats to tell you that. You know what I mean? The people that are saying that, I did call him bang average, but the only reason on my best words to bang average top 5, but I'd still said conclusion in my video, in my thoughts of why he's in my number 3, is that because he was in the last season. That was it. But he definitely improved what we've got, 110%. But he needs to prove himself. But I think the one that really does need to prove himself is Savinho. I think he's going to be really under pressure this coming in. He's going to be really under pressure,
Especially with the price tag on him as well,
the
isn't it?
price. I don't think the price tag. I think the price tag has been explained because it's been heavily towards him because of the fact of Man City have got that sort of thing that they don't want to go over a certain price, so they're putting it fully on Savinho. So I understand that, but because we've been chasing him for so long, right? And because he's been really pushing to come here, right? I do think there's a lot of pressure on him to deliver. I think that's where I think the pressure will be on Savinho, right? And I think that's where I think where the pressure will be, right? Because I don't think Mamouche will have a problem finding another club if he doesn't work out at Tottenham. I don't
I
think it's.
could agree with that.
I think there's going to be a problem with Savinho if it doesn't work out at Tottenham, though. I do think that
But we're
because
going to have to give him some time to settle down, isn't it? Just same as any player.
the problem is, Dan, I don't think we've got the time, mate. I think he has to hit the ground running. This is the problem here. Oh God.
Do you think that's more down to what people are expecting? I'll come to that in a sec. Jerome, thanks again for the super chat, mate. Much appreciated. Aren't we worried about set pieces because both Senesi and Van Heck are not good in the air because Brentford won all of their set pieces? I mean, really, who have we got for the set pieces apart from Maddison and maybe a bit of Porro? Who else is any good at the set pieces?
I think they're
maybe
talking
Robertson.
about Dan. I think Jerome's talking about defending set pieces.
Oh, right. I totally misunderstood that one. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay, I misunderstood that one. Well done for putting that on there. Yeah. I mean, that's another point, isn't it? I mean, we had two defenders that weren't particularly good in the air anyway. I mean, Van der Ven, considering how tall he is, you'd expect him to be significantly better in the air, wouldn't you? And he isn't, especially for his size. But then you look at someone like Peter Crouch. I mean, fuck me, what, 7'1" or whatever he is, and he couldn't jump off the floor to head the ball for shit, could he? I mean, so what do you reckon on that?
Which is why I find it a bit strange that Marmouche isn't better in the air. He's 6 foot. It's the same height as Richie and 1 inch shorter than Solanke. It's very odd, yeah. But to be fair, with Van der Ven, that is something coming in. We knew he was just poor in the air, right? He was he was known for being poor in the air at
that was his weakest spot.
It was, but I'd actually like to think he has improved in that area. If I'm honest, I don't know. If
I think he actually has improved a bit. No, I agree, he has improved a bit there.
Yeah.
No, I do think he has improved in the air. It was definitely one of his weaker points, basically. Either way, I think I'm going to leave it there because I think we're all disheartened to the point where it's just there isn't really much positive to talk about right now, and we was all excited for the first game of the season, and it has just been a total kick in the bollocks, basically. But there's another 37 games to go. I don't think this is going to settle down in 5 minutes. I think this is going to take a good half a season to actually start rolling properly, if I'm going to be honest, and I think we are going to have to give it the time. But there's that other side. If he's had 350 million spent on him, how many people are going to give him this time? Are the owners going to give him this time? And we know Spurs fans, for some strange reason, are probably the most unforgiving fans out there, aren't we? So how much time is he going to get?
But Dan, you look at all 7 players, taking it that Savinio's done, all 7 players have come from Premier League clubs, haven't they? So, you know, he's expecting everybody to hit the ground running because they're all used to the speed and the way the league is. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Listen, there's a lot of new players for one team.
You know what?
Go on, Mike.
I would compare today, right, to a situation where you go into a club and you see a 10 out of 10, and you know that you will try to talk to her, right? And you know that she will probably just, ghost you, right? Reject you. And you approach her and you get ghosted. And you kind of expected that, right? And you knew that you don't really have a chance, but it still fucking hurts a bit, right? Like you still had that slimmer of hope that it would work a different way. That's how I feel today. Like I kind of expected what happened today to happen, but it still kind of stinks that it happened, right? Like I wouldn't mind if Spurs for once positively surprised me, right? That's how I look at today.
Wouldn't we all like it?
Yeah, basically, right?
Wouldn't we all like it? Right, so Ian, when you're doing any shows again soon, mate, what's happening with you?
Next one will be Tuesday night, Tottenham Touchline. We're going Tuesday instead of Wednesday because of the Spurs Charlton match. We've got Irish Hotspur on with us. So looking forward to the show. There'll probably be another analysis of today's debacle, plus hopefully there'll be 1 or 2 new players in by then. And we've got Charlton to look forward to on Wednesday night. So, and they've started well. 2 wins. They're second in the table behind Millwall. So
yeah, they won at West Ham today,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, they've won both league games. So not going to be easy.
No,
not
I
going
don't
to be
think
easy.
it is. And the other question is, what sort of team will we use on there? So, all right, Ben, your channel. What are you doing soon?
I hate doing this. Right, I do have something come up on Tuesday, same as Lubo. Hopefully, we don't have a crossover, but it is what it is. That will be the Chinwag episode 3. Got a couple of good guests lined up. Very excited for it. We go over the week's happenings. But look, listen, if you like unbridled waffle and opinions that change from a week-to-week basis, come and stop by. You're more than welcome.
Okay, so everyone go and, if you haven't, go and subscribe to, Tottenham Concept. And if you haven't subscribed, go over to Tottenham Touchline and subscribe there. I'm going to say thanks for everyone coming on. It's appreciated. Been one bollocks of a day, but we get over it with Spurs fans. We do. After the show's going to divert you straight over to Dan List, who's on at the moment with some good guests on there, with Cookie and a couple of others. Just tell him Hotspur Hood Raid, whatever, and give him a like and subscribe if you haven't. Much appreciated. And also for the super chats, super stickers, a user, appreciated, mate, and Jerome for both of them. You know what? Everyone, go and have a good night's sleep. Bollocks to this. It's about being a Spurs fan. You got to take it more than give it. Let's just hope it gets better. Take it easy, people. Have a good night.
Gotta know